Man, not your
Not your boy.
Mark meets Africa, who meets Go Black. Yeah, we're back at it again. Good to see you, Mark.
Yeah.
We was over in Zambia, ran into each other in Zambia. Gosh, I can't remember how many months back that was.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Been a while. You just got back from South Africa, Mark.
Yeah, a few days ago.
A few days ago. You know, I sent you a message. Well, I didn't send you a message, but I was on. I saw you were there and you were sharing how you were doing and stuff like that, and I put a message out there. Did you find that message?
On the YouTube comments.
The comments.
Yeah.
The comments, yeah. I had put a comment out there. Boy, y'all people out there in South Africa, they was like, oh, Go Black, shut up. Yeah, they was.
I didn't look at the responses yet.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, family, peace and blessings to you all. I hope that your day is as prosperous as ours are here in Tanzania. Loving every minute of it. Not to say without struggles or strains or strife, but we got the power of the Most High with us. So, Mark.
Ooh, I needed that. That was an espresso milkshake, y'all. I had a day.
You're expressing now to share your experience.
For the day or in general?
In general.
Oh, I'm happy.
Yeah, he's happy. Happy camper. Yes, peace and blessings to each and every one of you all coming in. You know, family, I think, you know, we don't have a script and anything like that, but Mark will say, hey, what are we going to talk about? I said, we're just going to flow with it. But I know that really here in the last month, I've been observing and listening and watching. Just got it from Ghana. And I'm going to tell you, Africa got some trying times ahead of it.
We were talking on the phone.
You might have to scoot up a little bit because I know you talk loud anyway, but I mean...
when I'm in a good mood. Yeah, we were having a conversation this morning about what you're saying right now, the trials and tribulations of this place.
Yeah, you know, and I've been talking to a few people here in Tanzania, and how I'm hearing them, they're a little displeased with their president because of her, that they're saying that she's going to sign over the port to Saudi Arabia to handle the business matters.
Really?
And so the people are a little upset over that. And I asked the question to them, because everybody, and no matter what country I go to, everybody always claims that their government is corrupt. And I said, no, they're just a reflection of who you are as a people. Because they come from your villages, they come from your towns, and yet the same people who complain about their governments are the ones who take advantage of me, who stole money from me, who actually lie and cheat me. These are local people. And so I share with a woman that I see that the curse that people are doing to themselves, doing to their own countries.
I said this years ago. A lot of what we suffer from is self-inflicted. If you refuse to have a high moral standard, values, principles, integrity, eventually you have what you see here. Even in South Africa, when I went there, people are very vocal about the way their government runs and how it's not so favorable for the people. Over here, they're quieter about it because they've been repressed. They cannot speak on things that are negative in regards to their government. They'll get in trouble for doing it. West Africa, East Africa. But over there, they said a lot. And what I learned was that a lot of people, like you said, they in fact, I'll tell you what somebody told me. He said that the people see the government officials that they elect as family. They liberate them from something, maybe lift them up a little, right? And so they are indebted to them in their mind. Yeah. Whether the president or politician does wrong to them or not doesn't matter. They are required, in their mind, to stick with him like family. Because remember, family culture is what they do. Because I always wondered, how could you elect someone who you know? Because he told me, we know that these aren't good leaders. We know that. They're not stupid. They know these people have no good interest for them, but they feel they owe them. I don't know if that applies to East Africa. Maybe somebody could tell us, but that's how I was told in the southern region.
Well, because you have tribes. You have tribes and you have people who are affiliated in your tribe. And yeah, you feel like you've achieved when you see one of the people become the president. That's part of your tribe.
But do you know them personally? See, that's the thing we got to get out of. That's separation. It's a reason to find yourself better off than someone else. Instead of saying we're all African, we're all one, we may be different, but we're all together. We start saying I'm this and I'm that, I'm Kenyan, I'm Tanzanian, I'm South African, and then we find ourselves separated and divided, and then we divide ourselves further. Now it's man versus woman, black versus white, this versus, yeah, I'm realizing.
Yeah.
I don't know how they got so much water under this table.
But it's the same thing when Obama came president. Many black people were cheering.
They voted just because he was black.
Yeah.
Not realizing
Didn't
that
do a
the man-
dang on thing for black folks.
beyond politics, because I don't believe in politics.
Yeah.
If I'm being, I don't normally state what I believe, but politics is not one of them. Because to me, it doesn't make sense that most people agree that governments all around the world are corrupt. They agree that there are organizations and entities out to get them, right? But they don't seem to understand that, because I say the illusion of choice that they have when they vote and all that stuff, they don't seem to understand that you can't change anything in government going through the government route. Everything is set. There's a plan, there's an agenda, it's set in stone, really. You just pick one or the other. They're both the wrong choice. See, we're so distracted with choices that we don't realize the actual issues that we face have almost nothing to do with politics.
You know, the government, like I said, government is not a building. It's people. So people act like, oh, the government. Look, they're just people.
Like fixing the government's going to fix the people. No, fix the people is going to fix the government.
Exactly.
Raise the mentality, raise the standard, raise the integrity, raise the values and principles. Give those people that, and they'll be in a position to do better for themselves. Because now when the shopkeeper stops scamming people and the teachers stop lying and the neighbors stop stealing, you have a society that works at a community level. And once the community is functioning well, the government will look down on that. And because the people from the community are going into government, guess what? They take those values up. But we have terrible people at the bottom and terrible people at the top. And then we complain that there's not enough good people in government. Well, look around and tell me where the good people
Look
are.
around at the locals. And I share that with, and I want some of you all to understand this too, how we curse our lives. If one person in government decides to take a bribe, everybody suffers from that. If one person in your family decides to cut the corner and do something illegal, everybody in that family is going to suffer. So the cursings, it goes all the way down. And many people don't understand this mentality. They think that, oh, I can get away with a lie today and I'm okay. But I gave an example, Mark, to this woman over here. She has a business. And I said, look, somebody cheated me. They stole my money and one guy lied to me and all this stuff right here. If I decide I'm out, I'm not messing with Dar es Salaam's Tanzania no more, that's less money to circulate in the community. Imagine if that's 5,000 more people. Or better yet, what if I said, I'm opening me up a business just like this joker here who don't even do right by this business, and 5,000 more people decided, which we do see that here. Foreigners got businesses. Whose mouths is that taken out of? The locals. All because of the crookedness and want to scam and cheat and lie, that you're going to find that it's hurting everybody in a local state of mind.
Yeah, it is.
So, you know, yeah.
You remember what we talked about this morning? It was a good conversation.
We talked about a lot this morning.
And I say, at this point, I'm at a realization that, and I said this a lot in my videos and in the past, a snake is a snake is a snake.
Yeah.
And they, by nature, do what they do.
Yeah.
It's not our place to get angry at them for stealing and lying and cheating. That's what they do. These are people, the majority of the world is influenced by whatever environment they're in. They're in an environment that looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
They can't control their environment. They can control their actions, but most people don't know how to do that. You have choice, I have choice, because we have, awareness of ourselves, or a higher degree of awareness of ourselves. For most people that haven't even understood that concept, they don't get what it means to choose. So whatever their family is doing, whatever their government is doing, whatever their school is doing, whatever their society is doing, whatever their community is doing, whatever they see on TV, whatever they hear in music, that influences them. Society's been dumbed down so much to it may not have gotten off on you, but it did get off on them.
It got off
Because you
on me.
can't explain what they do as anything other than they are not in their right state of mind.
Sure.
And at the same time, again, the snake is the snake. It's not evil for being how it is. They're not wrong for doing that, because that's why all of them are doing it, or a lot of them are doing it. They're just, they are what they are, right? I'd say it's more so our place to remain who we are. The trial of Africa is, are you going to be who you are after they cheat you, after they lie to you, after they steal from you, after they do you wrong? Are you still going to be loving, peaceful, and joyous, or are you going to become angry, bitter, and hateful because of what they did to you? Because that's a trial in and of itself.
Yeah.
A lot of the people here have this, I say don't even look at the people. They're not thinking. They're not thinking. The spirit in them, right? The people problem, the spirit problem, and they're having spiritual problems. We can't even look at the person. The person is selfish at best. The person is selfish. It's the person is not the one that has the issue. Because they're not in control of themselves.
So it's the spirit. So what I find, Mark, I find in my experience, these 30 countries I've been to, and you know, there are a many of answers that I've come up with why people are the way they are. Africa, a lot of these countries, number one, I'm gonna say this right here, people, they have a lack of knowledge for money, and they will do anything for money. That's number one. They don't even know how to utilize money. They don't even know what really money is for, except for spending it.
It's not their system.
It's not their system. Exactly.
It's like a chicken eating dog food. Eventually it'll get sick and die.
So people rather sell their souls, and this is around the world, not just Africa, but I'm just saying, I'm just speaking of how people who don't understand the resources that they have, the most wealthiest countries or the continent that feeds the rest of the world, if they, yeah, hold on a second. If they even just took what was rightfully theirs out of their resources they had, and spread that amongst their people, they would be in a better place. But they don't understand what this money that they are getting themselves involved in when they're doing this business with other outside foreign business.
It's not their system.
It's not their system. So I even see the local man who will I can go, I'm serious, I could probably go pay somebody $10 to put a sign up and say they are gay or trans, that they're for Black Lives Matter. I've watched them do this before. This is how people could come into Africa and film videos and pay somebody $10 to act as though that there are issues in Africa going on when they're actually not, and they take this footage and send it around the world as though that this thing is really happening.
To push their agenda.
And this is what money do around the globe to people. People have...
But then you have to ask, is it and I'm sorry to interject, but then
You got a question? Yeah, go ahead.
well, what you're saying, because it makes a lot of sense. It's wrong on the person's part for coming here and doing that, but is it so wrong to say that the person who accepted it is wrong too? Because I believe it's a two-part problem.
Both
the
is
people
wrong.
shouldn't have taken, the love of money is what? The root of all evil. So the fact that you were so greedy that you didn't care what the sign said tells you a lot about that person's mentality, let alone the person coming to do it in the first place.
You know,
They're both
right.
wrong.
They're
In
both
my
wrong.
book, they're both
No, they're
wrong.
both wrong.
Because we
They're
have so
wrong.
many ways of making excuses for Africans, African Americans too. We have this
Yeah,
put
we
it
got
off
this-
on other people.
we
It's
have-
always someone else's fault, but we have this
Yeah.
low mentality to begin
We-
with.
we have a way
can
of-
take
of,
we can take back our
deflecting.
power. Yeah, we do. We can take back our power by making ourselves responsible. Now it's not someone else's fault. We can say, what can we do to make sure this doesn't happen again? How can we improve? But it's always someone else's fault. Well, the white man did this, and we're not wrong. But that doesn't mean stand still. A lot of us, even Africa, they're always saying, what do they say when you ask them about the roads? Oh, we waiting for the government, right?
Yeah,
So how come that building's, but we waiting for the government? Everything's waiting for the government. Well, if you wait too long, they might not do it. And if they see you're complacent with waiting and you never complain about the fact, they'll complain to everyone but the person that's giving them the problem.
And this
Our
is
people
why
do that too. See, instead of confronting the snake that bit us, we go and confront everyone that looks like us.
This is why even the president here is wanting to do business with Saudi Arabia and handing their ports over to them to go ahead and handle the business. I had the conversation with the gentleman and I tried to explain to him, you know, I was informed that when Magufuli was president here, he did an inspection of the port. The people at the port broke the so-called computer system to where they had to account for all the trailers and stuff coming in because they were going in these trailers stealing.
Really?
Yeah, this is what I was told. So here it is that you can't trust your own people to do a job right, that you have to go outside of your own country to hire people to ensure these type of behaviors won't happen.
It happened with the roads too. And
Roads
train,
too.
You know that new train?
Contracts come in, people run off with the
They
money.
run off with the money, and you know what? It tells you again, what is the actual problem? The problem is not Africa doesn't have opportunity. No, the problem is when it's given opportunity, when the people get the opportunity, a lot of them have a mentality that says, I'm just going to steal, lie, and cheat. You said it. It starts with the people because they make the government, they build the businesses. Those aren't just random entities. No, those are made up of people from the bottom who came up to the top, or people from the middle who came up to the top. Those people have the problem. And those are the people that need to change. It's the mentality. Africa's problem is a mentality problem. Our people do the same thing in the States. What do they do? I saw a video on YouTube. It was a lady, it was a news story about Walmart was leaving the neighborhood or something like that. It was the only store in the neighborhood. So people were like, that's not right, that's not right. You know, we don't think that's terrible. But then it's the lady.
They closed it because they were stealing out of it. They're losing so much. Yeah.
Instead of getting out of the welfare mentality, and I'm not saying that, sometimes we have to be a little harsh, but we have to be honest with ourselves too. We can't excuse everything that happens to us with, well, it was slavery's fault. It comes to a point where you say, and these are religious folks, this is where it gets dangerous. If God's characteristics are peace, love, and joy, 400 years of slavery is not enough to make you a bitter, angry, hateful person, because he doesn't change, so you shouldn't change. But a lot of people become the snake that bit them. It makes them worse because they're not a snake. They make an excuse for themselves. Oh, this man broke my heart, now I hate all men. Oh, this person did this to me. So it's me. You don't think about, oh, you know what? I would never want someone to feel this way, so let me make sure and make it my mission, I'm sorry, not to do that again. But our people get selfish. And it's not our people per se, our people. It's a people problem. People problems are selfish problems. And we start thinking about us, and then we don't think about what did we do to get ourselves here.
That's true.
It's not to say we had 100% of the issue to begin with. No, but we have to take some responsibility. Part of taking responsibility is being able to take back your control. We're giving our control to everybody else because when you put it on everybody else, you give them the ability to solve your problems. Africa's good at that because everything is everyone's fault. No, you know, Nigeria's been free from colonial rule for 64 years, right? Singapore was a colony too. It's an island nation that has barely any resources. It's been free for 62 years. What's the difference between Nigeria, this big country with all these resources, every resource in the world, large land mass, you can grow anything there. What's the difference between Nigeria and Singapore, a small island nation with no resources that just became the third largest GDP in the world? What's the difference? It's the mentality. They've been free the same time, they had a similar past, and they say, oh no, but Africa had this, but no. It comes to a point where you have to be responsible for your own actions.
Yeah.
Because as soon as it's the lying, the cheating, it's the dishonesty, we do our people the worst. I said to you on the phone this morning, I never had an issue with a person till I came here. I never had my people come up to me and say, hey Mark, we might kill you because you have the same business. I said, wait a second, brother, what? I never had people do that to me. I said, what? It was my people.
Well,
so for me, it was like, and again, I could have, it was a lesson for me to see that there's evil in every color, in every country, in every race. Now people are so hurt that you can't give the other side an ear. It's all me, my opinion, my pain, my feelings, my trauma.
So
what happened to listen
to
them?
Tell us about your love for Tanzania.
Well,
because you've been here how long now, Mark?
3 years.
3 years.
It got challenged.
Because in one breath you say that, you know, the people, they display these different type of negative behaviors. But you're here.
Oh yeah, I had 2 days before I left South Africa, I actually had another realization. And it hit me, and it was the reason I kept coming back. I keep coming back to Tanzania. It hits me every few months. Because I said to myself, I'm in South Africa, I get to walk around, be happy wherever I go, No communication barrier. I look like the folk. They say I look like
Man,
these
you
folks.
speak fluent Swahili, man.
But let's say, for instance, that I didn't.
But you do speak Swahili,
barrier.
though. Yeah.
You know, because I speak English better than I speak Swahili.
Of
That's
course,
100%.
of course you do.
So
You come
let's
from America.
Let's assume I'm in South Africa. I was there for 15 days. Everywhere I went,
Yeah.
friendly conversation,
Yeah.
great customer service, amazing experience,
Yeah.
wonderful, friendly people, happy. It
Yes.
was happiness. I saw happiness. I saw joy. I saw peace everywhere. I said, wow. And yes, it has its problems.
Yeah.
Every place has problems, and every place has good things.
Yeah.
But I said, you know what? Man, this place is great.
Yeah.
I felt like, ooh, wait. 2 days before I leave South Africa, I get the question. Every now and then I ask myself, I said, man, why am I over there? Why am I in Tanzania? Because I said the mentality is so, sometimes it's low.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's normal to cheat and lie and steal. I'm not saying that it's not in other places too, but it's overrun here. And it's a conversation. My mother, I told you this morning, so I'm going to tell them. I had somebody tell me, I just said my mother. When she told me, she said, you know, the light doesn't go where it's already bright.
Yeah.
And I just take that as, yeah, this is the place that needs it. That place has already got it going on. We don't need to be over there. If you truly love Africa, come to the place that needs you the most. You can't get so hurt that you become afraid to do anything in the place that's jacked up. It's jacked up because it needs people like you. Where you can get punched in the face 10 times over, metaphorically speaking,
Yeah.
and still say, I want to build here. Because that was me. At one point, Tanzania treated me so badly at one point that I said, I don't know how people could think like that. I thought they were joking. I said, nobody's that wrong. Nobody's that greedy. Nobody's that selfish. Nobody lies that much. Nobody's that, you know? And then I had to say, well, what am I? I'm putting it all on them. What are they? They're the whatever. The thing that bit me. And I was looking at them so much. It's them, it's them, it's them, it's them. And then I had to question myself. I said, well, what are you? And I said, peaceful, I like to be happy, and I like to love. And that voice came and said, well, is how they are going to change how you are? And I had to think about it. I said, no, it's not. So no matter how much you lie and cheat and steal, no matter how dishonest you are, no matter how much wrong you do, that's not going to get off on me because I'm who I am, whether you are who you are or not. It's in you to change who you are. You have to choose to be like them. I'm me. That's the lesson I had to learn was, and that's what I take it as. It's a lesson, it's a test, it's a trial, it's an exercise, it's a challenge for you to be who you are.
So
you can't go be them because they treated you like that.
So there's still something about Tanzania that draws you back to it.
A lot. There's a lot of good, but the one thing that I can say.
Hold on. Say that again. There's a lot of
good.
There's good here. Yeah.
It gives you a purpose. If you're somebody that likes solving problems, you have a purpose here. You can't go to a place with less problems or problems that you're not used to solving. A lot of the issues here are principle based. I'm a man of principle. I stand on principle, integrity, and that's what I am.
Well,
So,
I'm gonna say this right here, and not to be offensive to anybody from Tanzania or Ghana. They stand on religion. I'm gonna tell you my observation. Let me just say this right here.
yeah, in God.
A lot of people walk around in their religion, but they're not really living it as far as becoming their better self.
Same here.
They practice their religion. Oh, they'll pray there 5 times a day, or they'll go to their church every Sunday. They'll say they love to say they're either Muslim or Christian or whatever it is, but they're not really elevating themselves to become that better person.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen. And so when I share that with my brothers and sisters here, they really get speechless because when I open them up and show them the wrong in their behaviors, they can't deny it. Man, they can look you dead in the eye and lie straight to you, and it's like, and they don't see nothing wrong with it. And I'm like, no, there's something wrong with that. But it's a culture that's been passed on from generation to generation to generation.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to just steal from somebody and don't even flinch.
But wait. Now let's say what made them like it.
Well, I think these
Made them like that.
well, if we say what made them like that, I mean, we know that spirit, man, goes on from generation to generation to generation to where it becomes acceptable. Let me say it like this. I was talking to a woman today. She has her business here, and she asked me about the America and how the LGBT community is. It's funny that always comes up. And And I said, you know, people became complacent and quiet on that subject matter in America because they fear to say anything. So now it's became acceptable. It's become accepted in American society because people remain quiet. I said, so even the parents or the family members and friends have turned to decide to go that route or in that community, these people, and they succumb to agreeing that it's okay. So she said, oh my gosh, that's just so wrong. I said, well, yeah. No, I'm not religious. So we further, so she was like, that's wrong. You know, they shouldn't be forward, blah, blah, no matter if it's your children, this and that. We get into a conversation. Come to find out, her daughter got pregnant over in Uganda. Came back home, single mother, live with them right now to this day. And I said, she lives with you? Is that right or wrong in what she did, based upon your religion? She said it was wrong to get pregnant. She said, but, you know, we should show love. I said, okay, so should that apply to those who are gay, that your child winds up saying, I am that I am? And she was like, well, she kind of got hung up. She said, yeah, but I don't have to accept it. Did you accept your daughter? I said, let me break this down for you. I've had these conversations with my kids. I love my kids, and I tell them, look, no matter what, if you decide to live a lifestyle, I don't care if it's drugs, I don't care if it's LGBT, I don't care if you're a thief, you're a murderer, I can still love you, and I'm gonna love you afar. I don't want to come in your environment. I don't want you coming in my environment. You can be out there, do what you want to do, because I'm gonna let you know it is not acceptable.
But that's the thing, though. What do they say? Every man is right in his own man. And for all the religious folks, because again, you have to meet them at their level. If they're religious, argue religiously. If they're spiritual, argue spiritually. Because we're supposed to be well-rounded in all of it, right? So with that religious stuff, I just hit them with the whole...
90-some% I came up with are not.
Well,
people who hold on to titles and call themselves these names,
but they're
not living it.
They're at that level, and we can't change that. And the question is, how badly do you want them to hear your message?
That's why I'm saying is that those people out here in this world, no matter what, they don't even have to be religion. There are people who will label themselves these titles and these labels.
Yeah, labels were already one of the worst things.
They don't even understand the history behind what it is that they're practicing.
What would you say you practice?
I don't practice nothing, I'm living.
Okay, well, what would that look like, practice?
You know, there comes a time in life, right, that I can understand going through a practice. I'm 56 years old. I've practiced life. I understand life now, okay? There's nothing new for me, all right? There's just different chains of times, different terminologies and ways. But everything is the way it was 1,000 years ago, okay? But I come to understand by me taking time out of my life to observe and to study life, my experiences and others. And I find it quite interesting that in this life, I know there are consequences. I have found out when I do certain type of actions, these type of things can come back on me.
Do you think other people understand that?
A lot of people don't take the time to study that.
But do you think they understand that their actions have consequences?
A lot of people don't.
So would you say that a lot of people here's issue is that they don't know?
A lot of people just don't know.
So could you get upset at them for not knowing?
No.
So then
you can't get.
They say what? If your eyes cause you to sin, take them out. If your hands cause you to sin, cut them off. So if people cause you to be angry, which is a sin, get away from it.
Well,
see, our people's
getting angry is not a sin.
Well,
it says
be angry, but sin not.
Right, or be slow to anger.
I say I'll revise. The reason I say being angry causes people to sin is because most people, reactive people, emotional people, is they get angry and they do something because they're angry. They move through anger. You can be angry. You were given that emotion as a valid reason.
Yeah.
But you can't move while you're angry. You can be afraid, but you can't walk in fear. You can do all those negative things, but don't move and do things based on how you feel. Sit there and think about it, process it. Most people don't do that anymore. So the reason I say if it causes you to see, because people think about it like this, how many people in the hood in America could have just thought about it and not went out and impulsively killed someone because they were angry in the moment? So in a way, they sin because they're angry.
it's a culture now. It's just how that people now have become conditioned to handle adversity.
And that culture is
And
also
that
a
is-
label.
Well,
We
yeah.
label ourselves and then find ourselves unhappy. You know, that's the weirdest thing about
Are you
labels.
unhappy, Mark?
No, that's
Are
because
you
I don't
happy?
label my. People say, Mark, you're a Pan-African. I say, if that's what you see me as, then I don't call myself anything. They
Me
say,
either.
oh, religion, Christian, Muslim, this,
I
that,
don't
that. To
label
be
myself.
honest, I'm whatever I put myself out to be there as. Because the moment the definition of the label you associate with changes, so does the perception of you.
Exactly.
So now you put yourself in a very dangerous position in which now I'm this, but the moment everybody sees that as this, you never changed, but the label changed, and you accept the label, so you changed,
Yep.
and you didn't change.
That's why
Labels are dangerous
that's
because
why
they
it's
give you
dangerous.
room to hide behind things, and they give people room to interpret you loosely.
Yeah.
See, that's the dangerous part.
And the labeling is always going to have a head that's going to control you. It's
People
gonna
give their
control you.
power to the label. Whoever's in control of what that label looks like is essentially in control of how you are.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's why, again, I have freedom. I have joy. I can smile. I can walk around because I don't have the worry of being something that somebody wants me to be. I'm me. If you like it, great. If you don't, okay. And you said at one point, don't care about, you said this on a live a while ago in Dar es Salaam, we had a live, you said you shouldn't care about what people think. And the best thing about that is it gives you the freedom not to worry about how you're
Well,
going to please people.
When I say don't
you-
care what people think, you shouldn't have to care what people think. Now, you have an inner circle of people that you should have that confidence and that rapport with, who's going to be those who speak in your life or expose to you or reveal to you those things that you're displaying, that you can say, they can say, hey man, I see this in you, man. And you should be able to take that to heart, to care that this person here that you would actually will consider to be either elder or a friend or one that you have confidence in, those you should care. Because
Yeah, but-
because you know that they're going to be honest with you and they're going to show you the areas where you step out of line at.
Yeah, so long as it's still, again, I say the biggest wrong in the world is doing something outside of what you actually want to do. And that's not to say,
The biggest wrong is doing actually something that
it's not staying true to yourself. If you're a snake, be a snake. I'm not saying everybody should do wrong, but some people, thank you. That was good.
Thank you.
well, yeah,
I say stay true to yourself. The problem is people take on other people's will.
well,
And then we have, I'm sorry to keep on going, but we have this thing where we want to impose how we believe onto other people. Let people do people. Everybody's got a nature about them. The moment we try to change other people's nature, we just have to write them off as, that's a snake, I'm going to avoid them. I don't want to change you, I don't want to do anything, I don't want to add or subtract from you. If you take something from how I am or what I do or how I see,
I'm trying to change people. I mean, not trying. I hope that that my light, which is in me, causes others to see something differently, to where it allows them to at least be able to judge themselves, to see. Well, hold up.
then you don't have to do anything. You just be who
That's
you are.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 'cause
that's why
say the
that's why I
light
said
needs
I'm not
no
trying.
announcement.
I'm
You don't-
just
it-
doing.
The sun doesn't announce itself. You see it. The problem with most people is they turn away. Right?
Well,
What
but-
happens when you wake up in the morning and the sun shining in your eyes? Some people cover themselves. There's a lot of people in this world. Some people don't know, but some people know and turn away. They choose. You know, the religious folks say, you know, rejection of God, rejection of truth, rejection of light. It's really a rejection because you can't be so ignorant to the fact that you're suffering, because when you wake up angry at people, you go out seeking to hurt people, lying, cheating, and stealing. That's a person who's suffering.
Do you think that people here are suffering?
Yes, heavily. You don't wake up angry.
Do you
at people.
think they know they're suffering?
Some of them do? A lot of them do.
So a lot of people here in Tanzania are suffering.
I do.
In-
And I won't say Tanzania
in what?
because it's the same way in America. How
Okay.
many people wake
So
up
around
and
the
go,
world are people suffering?
let me ask, how many people wake up, go to a job they hate, talk to people they hate, go hang out around friends and family that they don't like, do what they don't like to do, and they do that for 40, 50, 60 years, and then they wake up one day and say, I wasted my life. How many people do that? You can't tell me they're not suffering. You know, they say the highway to hell. I say the highway to hell is a highway leading into town to your office building because you live a life where you're in hell.
You know,
People aren't
I
happy.
believe there's a lot of people
the same in
There's
Africa.
a lot of people who are suffering and don't even know they're suffering. This is how you can see people when you know, people either on drugs, people who have these issues of being crooked or corrupt, that they display these behaviors, but they don't even see the consequences that's up against them.
Some of them don't care.
And some don't care. But the suffering, I mean, you know how many people that I've done my videos with that have left America, come to visit Africa or another country, and write me and say, man, all the time I thought I was living in peace until I left and I realized I've been suffering.
But here's the thing: they had to leave to find out, because when you have nothing to compare it to, what
That's
do you
why I
have?
say there's a lot
so
of
the
people
people here
suffering.
have nothing to compare it to. I see your point when you say that they don't know they're suffering, but
Yeah.
I also believe a lot of them do, because what do they do most? Complain.
They complain, but they think that this is how life is supposed to be. This is what
No,
the
they
young
don't,
is-
because when they see American walking down the street, you get overcharged because the envy kicks in and they say this DUMB, MF, whatever. They get mad. They get seeing you walk on the street and you had the nerve and walking you through how they think. And I know you know this, that's why I'm saying it. But this person had the nerve to get off that expensive airplane. They think that airplane tickets are $1,000. Come on, somebody might not make that in a year. So you had the nerve to get off that expensive airplane with your nice shirt on. That's what they think. Nice shirt on. You got earrings for the ladies. You got a bracelet that costs more than my T-shirt. And you have the nerve to complain about America, which gave you the ability to do that. That's what they think. We look crazy to them because, again, we may come over here saying, well, they do the LGBTQRSTUV rights and they do the killing in the streets and they do, but they look at you and say, you had the ability to come over. If they wanted to travel, they get interrogated for 30 minutes. Why do you want to go to the neighboring country? I'd like to see somewhere outside of here. What, do you think we're not good? You didn't have to go through that process. Nobody chased you down. Nobody's stepping on you every day. I had a driver who was taking some wood to our building, so we're building stuff. And he literally had to beg this officer just to pass on the road. He had to give her 2,000 shillings, which is 80-something cents. And she threw it in his face. You gonna tell me that this man does this every day because he stands in the same place every day. He gotta go down the same road every other day, which means he's dealing with this woman daily. You mean to tell me that person who has to literally, an elderly man too, driving a truck, old truck. I never seen a man do that, like that. And the look on his face afterwards, he's like, oh, they're just hungry today. I said, they're not hungry. They want your peace, your love, and your joy. The person is selfish. The spirit in them wants all that good stuff. They have to live in that state constantly. They constantly have that. They don't have the opportunity to even have a perspective outside of their place because they, as in the people here. When you say that, because a lot of us come over here
there's a lot of
telling
Tanzanians
them
who got
don't
money
go
out
to-
here.
Well, a lot of them, but most don't. There's a lot, but
Well,
most
this is like
don't.
America. Most people don't have money.
So then what are we talking about? America versus Tanzania is money versus no money. Is can I
It's
take care of my basic needs
And that's
versus
what
can I not? That happens in America, it happens over here, it
It's the
happens
same
in China.
thing.
So why do we keep calling it a country? It's a mentality that is spread through to financial problems.
Yeah.
Because everywhere in the world, racism only exists in the West. Everywhere else is financial. There's prejudice, but it's not racism.
Okay.
The prejudice comes from those people typically don't have money, but it's still about money. America's race. Yes, there's some bits and pieces of racism in other places, but I believe a lot of it comes down to prejudice. And a lot of the time you have Africans traveling to other countries, they don't act right. And let's just be honest with ourselves. We can't call ourselves perfect. Yes,
Most don't act right?
history treated us right. The UAE just banned 20 African countries. That doesn't just happen because everybody coming over there is black. No, it happens because, oh, these people were staying illegally. Oh, these people were doing this bad stuff. Let's give ourselves some credit. We keep defending bad behavior.
Sure.
When are we going to be responsible for our own wrongdoing? Because we're so quick to put our guards up. They did this to a black person. We don't ask what happened. And yes, sometimes it is an unfair
I didn't even
thing.
run that video because I heard that happened last year, and once I delved into it, you know, I was like,
Look at
I'm
how
not
they treat
going
each other here.
to do
This
the
man
video.
just, I'm sorry guys, he just threw
hold
trash on the floor and
Hold
kicked
up,
it.
hold up, no, that's a rock. So
He kicked a
my-
paper bag.
Mark frustrated here. When you gonna
I'm
move
not
to another
frustrated.
country, man?
The reason I say it with such passion is because in my mind, it's not about here. It's about why are we so quick to take responsibility off of ourselves? Again, if you want to change your situation, the first thing you have to do is take control of your situation. Elsewhere, I don't go to places I don't like. Yes, there was a time I was frustrated by the things I saw
Mark's
here.
frustrated. Somebody said Mark's frustrated, laughing out loud.
Well, frustration is not what this is. If it looks like that, perhaps that's what it is in somebody else's. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm okay. You joining us at this table?
Uh,
No, you don't
We're
have
doing
to.
it.
I'm joking with you.
Yeah.
Okay now.
Where are you from?
I'm from, what if I told you I was Chinese?
You're from the States somewhere.
So why did you ask?
I don't know. I'm trying to guess where in the States. I'm trying to see.
Go black you from.
Huh?
You gonna tell her where you from?
Oh yeah, I'm from Las Vegas.
Nice.
Where are you from?
I'm from Kenya.
Kenya.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mombasa area.
No,
Where?
it's Nairobi.
Nairobi.
You up in Nairobi? Oh, okay.
City
Okay.
girl.
Okay.
City girl. Kenyan right there. Alrighty.
Sorry about that, yo.
Oh
But
no.
yeah. Ooh, where was I?
It don't matter.
Well, okay, frustration. I'm not okay. I hope people don't mistake my passion for frustration. I ain't mad
That's
at what
a cover up
I
when
will
people
say
say that.
this.
People say my passion for
I
frustration.
will say this.
Admit, man, that you're frustrated.
I'm gonna say this. Because we have to direct frustration at something.
There's nothing wrong with
Frustration-
being frustrated.
Frustration to what? So let me specify. The frustration comes in, but it's specifically towards this thing we do, and I'm gonna put it on us. This thing we do where we cover up all our issues, like I was saying earlier, with the fact that it's always someone else's fault. When can we be responsible? The stereotypes about us, some of them are true. It's not for all of us. See, we get offended because we're not doing it, but there's so many that do.
So many other things that you do.
So many. So we can't just say, oh, if Mark is frustrated, it's because people are still doing such things as trying to get a lap. Yeah, and shouldn't we? Shouldn't we be? Shouldn't we be? Because isn't part of the reason we get angry to do something? You have to, sometimes you got to get mad to move. See, a lot of us want to go and we think being upset is wrong, when the truth is, being upset is not wrong. It's what you do when you're upset.
Well-
Because my frustration instantly turns into passion. I'm here trying to change what I see. Most people just get mad and leave.
How you trying to change?
I'm still here.
And how are you changing? Changing everything?
No, changing what I see means raising the mentality through doing what I do. And if you want to come along, come along. I'm not here to change you. I'm not here to change anything specifically, but I'm going to be here and continue to be me. People will see that and they'll say, now I know this happened to this man. I know this man tried to extort him. I know that one lied to him. I know this one cheated him. But look, he's still smiling. That might be somebody's ding and say, oh wait, I think I should be happy. I've had people come up to me and say, how do you stay so happy? And I say, well, you know what? I just determined that people aren't worth my peace, love, or joy. I might get upset for a moment, but I'm not going to stay upset. Some people get angry and leave and they say, you know what, F that place. And then they find themselves in the same problem in the next country, because sometimes it's not the country, it's the person. How well do you deal with stress? My frustration turns into passion. What does yours turn into? Because if yours turns into frustration to just leave,
You know,
there's a lot of people here. Let's put it on Africans. What do they do when they have frustration in their country? They leave. They go find a job somewhere else. What happened to stay and fix it? So where's the responsibility for the people that leave? Because there's a lot of diaspora that came and left.
There's a lot of people who leave, yeah, and then they go back. There's a lot of people who come and stay.
What do you do with the frustration?
Oh, I'll tell you what I do. Let me tell you what I do with my frustration. I'll be frustrated with Ghana. I'll be frustrated with Tanzania.
At least you're honest.
I do. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I'm like this right here. The frustration could be in any thousands of areas. Depends on what area I'm frustrated in. For instance, Ghana. I'd be frustrated in how they do business. You know, I am not going to buy land, which y'all need to watch my video when I put up that what just happened with the land in the Cebu and what's going on, that people are buying from the diaspora, that now is a mess. I'd be so frustrated at Ghana and how they had a lack of accountability when it comes to land and the way that the scamming or the issues of land is handled. But I take that as I'm not touching any land. Frustration even here in Tanzania, because we talked about really the behaviors and the mentalities of people. It's almost identical. It's a culture thing in how people are when it comes to honesty, you know, when it comes to having integrity, when it comes to some moral values or issues, to where when it raises the flag with me and I see that I can't really navigate of doing what I want to do, that right there is just an indication to move on. Damn, I ain't running from nowhere. I got a place here. I got my own place here that's here.
But
in
is it
Tanzania.
wrong if someone does?
No.
Exactly.
You got to find what's best for you. You got to find where you suited. But the thing of it is, like you said, no matter where you go, no matter where you don't get stuck on that. Don't get stuck. Don't get
I'm
stuck.
curious.
No, I don't. Don't get stuck on it. But no matter where you go, there's always going to be friction. There's always going to be some type of friction, because frustration means nothing more than friction. Means that you come from a place that may have not operated in a fashion that you're not used to, and when you do encounter it, it causes frustration or friction. So that's how I see it. But people I know get scammed and taken advantage of, and yet wonder how do they get themselves caught up in it. And my thing is that you got to take time to find out exactly what is the so-called spirit of a place. And when I see that spirit is not conducive to mine, I'm not getting involved.
But go Black, can I ask you, do you think I had family call me from Ghana. They were having all these issues. They mentioned many, many issues. And I said, you know what that sounds like? Tanzania. And they said, no way. It gets to a point where what you see over here is universal. Like you keep telling me, it's not just Africa. It's not something you'll only see here. It gets to a point where you say, where do you want to be and how do you want to be there? Pick a place and make it work. You're going to find the same problem everywhere you go. Cheating, lying, stealing is not exclusive to Africa. It may be more common here, but it's not just Africa. You can get cheated, scammed, and lied to in the States.
No matter where.
You said it. Find your groove. What works for you? Because again, if people cause you to be angry, don't be around people. You can't just assume you're coming here and everything's gonna. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice a lot more than you think. Sometimes you might have to sacrifice hanging around people. If everybody you encounter is a lying, cheating, thieving person, and you still want your peace, love, and joy, you might have to go find that by yourself. See, a lot of people aren't okay being by themselves because when they travel, a lot of them are traveling for love, right? These women trying to find men, these men trying to find women. A lot of them are traveling for family or friends or this relationship that they did not have their basic needs met where they were emotionally.
Yeah.
They did not have their needs met.
Yeah.
They didn't have the love that
So
they
they're on the
required.
search.
So they're in a search. That's why they're having such an issue here. It's because when they get over here, you need people they feel they need people to fulfill those roles. Love,
I
peace,
need a
joy.
country I'm looking for. I'm on a search to build my hotel.
Okay.
And I'm not touching Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to touch here.
Why?
Because of the mentality that it's hard to have a confidence in how people do business. When I've been to places where like you say, lying and cheating, stealing is everywhere. But when you find it's just a cultural thing, that's hard, man, to do business.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But there's many businesses out here that people are doing out here.
Mm-hmm.
There's many a business that I'm like, so what makes me different than anybody else that I choose
You
not
have
to
a standard.
I have a standard. And I talk to people who have businesses and they're like, oh yeah, you're going to take a loss. You'll get your business started, but you're going to take some losses. Well, my thing is I want to take as least amount of losses that I have to.
Well, then that's business. That's not emotional. Most people are traveling for an emotional reason.
No, I'm not talking emotional.
As we just discussed, people are traveling for love. They want to find a wife or a husband or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a boo thing or a who beauty. Whatever they're trying to find. They're not here to do business. Some of them say they are, but the truth is they're not here to do business.
No, a lot of people not. A lot claim they are. There they go, they turn the light on. A lot claim they're coming for business, but they haven't even done business from the countries they came from.
They haven't. They're here because something in their mind. What would cause somebody to leave a country where they have everything, supposedly, right?
Well, I don't even know what everything is, but there's a lot of people who leave because of the treatment. Some feel they don't have the advantage of really reaching a potential that they feel as though that they should.
Most people I talk to go black, and I'm sure you could say something similar, but I don't know because I haven't asked you yet. And most people I talk to, a lot of older folks, they say, I left because America's so racist and they killing us over there. And I said, did you have any experience in which you were brutalized by police? And a lot of them, and I'm serious, this is a very common answer. They say, no, it wasn't me, but, you know, we dropping by the day. And I say, why? You know, some people will sit in their house, go on YouTube, and for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, look up videos, black people getting murdered. And the sickness comes when you look at it like this. You are what you eat.
Well,
if you consume, because your soul, it's eaten with the eyes and the ears. So if all you consume is negative media, eventually you're going to have a fear in you that
True.
you put in yourself.
True.
It's not to say those aren't happening, but it's to say I can imagine them happening after seeing it once.
Well, I would
I don't have to
this.
continuously feed myself dark things, because what do they say? You have to control what you watch.
But I understand.
You wouldn't
the
tell
older
your kids
people,
go watch a video of somebody getting shot. You would not tell your children to do that because you know it would mess them up.
But let me go on behalf of the older people, being that I'm an older person. You know, from when you know the old saying is walk in a man's shoes so you understand, you know, who he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when a lot of our brothers and sisters, because a lot of them, they do consultations with me and they reach out to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I've been through a lot in America. I've had infractions with the police officers who's brutalized me.
Yeah.
And that's facts.
You've been there
You know,
longer than me.
and even though I understand when people say, well, I haven't been brutalized, but I see the effects, I see the change that's happening. You know, my thing is, like, even I know some parents who left because they're like, the school systems are getting in control of their children's teaching and learning, or that they see that
Are they religious? Are they typically religious?
I don't know like you say religious, but they have
Hebrew, Israelite, Christian.
they have them a moral standard.
Okay, but are they? Because I'm only asking this. It's not about you. It's about.
Yeah.
I'm asking. Are they normally? Because a lot of people I talk to, they're typically a part of some religion.
Well,
Is the only
there
reason
are
I'm
some
asking
that
is
are,
'cause-
there's some that aren't.
Because the ones that are,
Because I mean, I know two couples right now
yeah.
who's here in Tanzania that they got children. They said, you know, we just wanted to get out because of the fact that we see that the youth are under attack, not just through the alphabet crew, but you know, through you know, whether it's the killings in the streets, the crime-ridden places that are going on. It's just time before it knocks at your door that somebody, your friend, your family member, will be affected. It's just a matter of time. And whether or not you just want to wait for it to happen or you rather just go ahead and make way for your family, that's what I see some people are doing. And there's nothing wrong with that. It don't have to affect you personally, but when you see that there is a place that you live in that's going downhill and that might cross the lines of your own morality, then people will go out and search for a better place.
Which one is the greater evil? Because you mentioned
Yeah.
at the beginning of this, I can't do, well, you mentioned not too long ago, you can't do business in Tanzania. The lying, the cheating, the stealing is too much.
Yeah.
So that is something that crosses your moral standard. Your moral compass
yes.
doesn't align with
It does.
I suppose it's really a question of pick your poison. You want to be in the States and have their moral wrongness, or you want to be over here where they're teaching the kids in school that Blackbeard, which was a black man, caused slavery. One black man.
Yes.
Which one do you want to deal with?
Yeah.
Because now it's a matter of your choice.
Because
say really break away from the system all day. I don't believe in society as a whole. You should be to yourself. That's why I asked you about the religion, because all these religious folks, they read this Bible, and the Bible tells you, I'm not religious, but it tells you separate yourself from the world. It tells you follow the narrow path. The narrow path tells you that you're not supposed to do what everybody else does. You don't put your kids in school because everyone else is doing it. Oh, but what about my job? Sometimes you have to do things very differently in order to find, because culture and religion are two different things. You sacrifice one for the other. The culture in Tanzania sometimes steal, lie, and cheat and steal, but they're religious. How do those things work? You have to choose one or the other sometimes.
Some form or fashion, we are still attached to a world system. And it's just us. You can never really unattach yourself out of the world. You know, you can't unattach yourself out of the world. The thing of it is that finding out how do you navigate through a system. You know, they say take the
Most
red
people
pill.
don't-
Take the red pill if you want to really see, you know, the world for what
I don't
it
know
is.
about that red
Or
pill
tell the
stuff.
blue. Well, it's just an analogy.
Yeah.
You know, the red pill is do you want to wake up or take the blue pill and continue to sleep. So that's just an analogy. But it's really about
Most people just want to sleep. They just want to sleep in a better bed.
well, I think that people want they want their life the way that they want their life. You're not going to find that total
They're
dream
not
out
truly
here.
looking for it. And
Yeah.
you know, that's why a lot of people get frustrated. They came here looking for America on a discount. They didn't come here
On a
because
discount.
I'm serious, and you know it. And I know you know it because you can see. We got to be honest with ourselves. People aren't here to do anything to do with building people or some movement on, you know, uplifting people. No, they're here because they wanted a nice house and they wanted a lifestyle where they might have somebody doing their dishes for them. Nothing's wrong with that. But don't lie about it.
There's nothing wrong with it. No. There's nothing
Nothing.
wrong
You
with it.
deserve a better quality of life. Everyone does.
Well, to each his own. I'm going to put it like that right there.
And a lot of people come over here and they cannot stop associating, you know, it's not to say you have to give up your culture, but don't come over here complaining about your culture and then complaining about their culture. You got to, again, that's why I believe have your own culture. Each person should have their own culture. Each individual
Yeah.
person should have their, because you are you. I've had people come up to me and say, Americans are like, I said, don't call me that.
Yeah.
And it's not to say I'm not American. No, I'm an American and a proud one too.
I'm
But
not.
I'm me.
I'm not an
before,
American.
No, legally speaking, I am an American.
No, I'm
So
not.
therefore,
Hold on. Let's
I
park
must
right there.
acknowledge
Hold up. No,
reality.
now, what you just did, you said legally. They created that legally.
But they also
Huh?
created the system
Legally.
that we're all trying to be a part of. You said you can't get out of all world systems, so now you have to associate yourself with something.
You can't, but that doesn't mean that I have to say that I'm American
you
because
cross the
they
border, what do
stamped
they
my
ask
back.
you?
That who cares what they say?
'Cause you need that
They
passport
call
to get
me.
across
They
that
call
border.
me nigga, but that don't make me to be it.
Okay.
Then
so
just because you
they
call me
say
American, just because,
doesn't make me.
just because,
I say legally speaking,
just
I get this.
because they stamped American on my back, don't mean I have to accept the fact that I'm gonna call myself an American.
You don't have to call yourself that, but when you cross that border, that's what you are.
That's what they recognize me to be based upon that piece of paper, but it has nothing to do with what I call myself.
Yeah, well, you can call yourself something different. Again, when you cross that border, if you tell them that, they'll look at you, blink, 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 and then say, okay, American, give me your passport and stamp it. That's reality. You
That's
can't
them.
ignore reality
You said
because
you was
we
American.
feel some type of
I
way.
said you said you were American.
Does
I
it
said
mean
I don't call
does
myself
it mean
American.
I accept its values? No.
Out of your mouth, you said you are an American.
Legally, yes.
Legally.
But that's reality. If I said my skin is
Legally.
this color, I'm gonna look at. If I say that's a window, that is a window.
You legally can marry a man in America. And so
well,
what
you
does
can,
what does that
you
mean?
Can, you can
What does that
technically
mean
do
legally?
that in a few other countries.
What I know, but what does that mean?
Associating yourself
Does that
with the
make
culture.
it? Does that make it then that
Goes
you
black.
can be
Can
that
I
way?
ask you this?
Does that mean that you can be
If
that
I
way?
say I'm African American, do you know what that means in some countries? It means you're a ghetto gangster person. Does that mean I'm that? No, but I'm associated with that.
Would you
so
call
legally,
yourself
I'm
that?
an American, but
Would you-
practically I'm me.
But why
I just
would you
said
call
earlier
yourself?
in
You
this-
said I call
earlier
myself
in this-
American. I'm
because
giving
I
you
am
that. I'm
legally
giving you
an American.
I
And
just did a
am
video.
because
just
that's
did-
the passport I have.
I just did a video.
Legally.
I did a video.
See,
the
we
other
go
day.
based on how
Hold
we
up.
feel.
I did a live yesterday.
It's like those people.
Of Mary.
I feel
Hold
like
up, hold up,
I feel
hold up,
like
hold
a
up.
woman,
Look,
so
look.
I'm a woman. That's how they feel. But what are they in actuality? You can feel one way, but what are you? Because
But-
you can feel like a Kenyan, but you're
Floyd
an American.
Mayweather had called himself an American, and I did a video on that.
That's the
And
box.
I broke it down to the people why he is in error when he calls himself American.
So what are you?
Let me ask you this question right here, Mark. I'm going to give you the same question that I gave him last night. Where do you find a lion?
It depends on where they put it, because you can find a lion in a zoo.
Okay, where did a lion originally start?
Started in Africa.
It started where? In Africa. Okay, that lion who turns around, right, and was shipped off, because you said you can find them depending on where they put it, is shipped off to all these different countries. That lion has cubs, right? And then that lion, those cubs turn around, grow up, and have cubs. And they were brought up in China, Europe, America, and all that. What kind of lion is it? Is it an American lion?
It's a lion. You didn't
No,
specify, because
no.
his name is what? Lion.
No.
They don't say
Are they
African
from?
lion.
Are
They
they
say a lion.
Okay.
It will always
Where is
originate
the
from
lion?
Africa.
Okay.
You're right.
So
but it is the
that
property
is-
of that zoo.
that
America is a
it
zoo,
is,
and
but
its citizens
hold up.
are its property.
Let me say. So what I'm saying, which I prove my point, is the fact that you can't take away from that lion that it does not come from Africa. But you can't say this is an American lion. That's bullcrap.
I never said I didn't come from Africa. Because now you're saying
When I say not
America
you
is where I
personally.
am, is where I was born, where I grew up.
That
So
has
it
nothing
makes
to
you
do with it. No,
what you
that-
are.
I just gave you an analogy. It's the same principle. They took the lion, put shackles on it, and put it in chains, and they shipped it around the globe. Did they not do that to our ancestors?
They did.
Okay,
But
so
that lion is still on American soil.
no. But still, is it an
will
American
always
lion?
be an
Is
African
it?
lion.
Okay, thank you
However,
very much.
And this is why
it
I'm
will
saying that
always
you
be
mentioned
an
world
African lion.
systems. So in the world system, you can walk up to that zoo, you can tap on the glass, you can say that lion came from Africa.
Yeah.
Maybe it was born in America, but
Yeah.
let's just assume it wasn't. Let's say they took it fresh off a boat and it's in Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, it was from Africa, it's in America.
Yep.
The zoo owns that lion. They paid for it, right?
Yep.
Because that's a world system.
Yeah.
Purchasing, selling, that kind of stuff.
That's what they
which
did to our people.
can't give up.
They did that to
We
slaves.
can't give up their system. The
Yes.
reason Africa doesn't
They were
work is
so
because
involved.
it's using a system that isn't for Africa.
What is your point?
The point I'm trying to make is that lion belongs to the person who bought it. Now, if the lion went
That
back
does
to
not
Africa,
have anything to do with where that lion's from, though.
well, the lion's from there.
Look,
but what is the lion currently?
I also played the video last night.
It is currently in a zoo.
I know, but it is an African lion.
Yeah, it'll
Now,
always be. We can
no,
look at ourselves and see are clearly from Africa.
but here's the thing. You can get that lion to operate and act outside of what it normally does. I showed the video of Roots when the so-called slave master had Kunta Kinte. They broke him because they wanted him to get in his head to break him that you're not Kunta Kinte, you're Toby. So they whipped him and broke him until he said, "My name is Toby."
Do they treat you like an African here?
What's the African?
Well, you said the lion's from Africa.
I said just said from Africa. Africa
we're
is just the
African,
point,
right?
just for people to know what a region of a land is from. That lion
those
is from
names
this
were-
continent.
Those names were made up by colonialists.
Listen, I'm not saying the African. The emphasis is not the
You
name
mean the
Africa.
language?
Africa is only a distinction or it's a signpost of so people know what region you're talking about.
Yeah.
So when we say African lion, we know where it came from. But for one to say, I'm American, I was born here,
But
I was
does
raised
that
here,
change
my mama,
what
my
it
pappy, I'm American.
So
No,
wait.
you're not. You
Does-
originated from
Then
a
can-
land over here.
Then can I ask you,
Yes.
whether it came from Africa or is in America, does that change the fact that it's a lion? Whether you call
Yes,
it
it
an
does.
American
Yes.
lion or a lion
Yes,
from Africa,
it does.
Does it change the lion? No. Does it physically change the lion into something else?
Yes.
It might change its behavior, but is it still a lion? It could be a lion riding
It's
a
still
unicycle.
a lion,
It's still a
but,
lion riding
but
a unicycle.
I get when people call themselves Americans because they have been conditioned and indoctrinated to believe that they are.
I'm
Just like
devil's advocate.
I know, I
They
agree
don't
with you.
call us that in those offices, and you know it.
I know.
You've been through their
But-
offices, you've been through their customs, and they will laugh in your face if you say I'm an African because your passport tells you you're something else. We need to
No.
look at reality.
Mine
How
says
we
I
feel
was
is
born in
one
Libya,
way.
and they're like, "Oh, okay." you
Well,
was
that's
born in
yours.
Libya."
Most people coming here, African
I
Americans, their
know.
passport is a blue
But I
passport that
educate
says
them.
American.
I educate them when they say I'm American.
They know where they're
and
from.
when I educate them, they're like, "Oh, okay." And I give them an analogy of the African because people are proud of their so-called safari animals out here, and they know you can't take our animals somewhere and then say it's an American lion.
Of course, we're African. That goes without saying. Anybody looking at that lion in the zoo knows where it came from, but where is it now?
That's not true. That is not true.
Well, some people might not know that lions come from Africa.
Sir.
But how many people do? Most people look at you and say, "We know where you come from."
But no, not true. No,
So people
because
don't
we-
look at us and say, "I'm talking about other Americans." They say African
You
Americans are
got
from
people.
Africa.
You got people in America who's calling them saying that they are native to the land of America,
Some
and
people,
they have
yeah.
nothing to do with Africa.
Yeah, that's true. Some people are saying that.
And they're saying we got nothing to do with Africa.
Is it the majority?
No, I'm saying there is a movement and there is people out here who think that. So all I'm saying is just like the lion, You can't. I don't care if that lion had cubs born and raised in America. So what? I don't care if 1,000
always
years
gonna
go
be
by. That lion comes from here. And just because you're born somewhere, don't make you it. You just came from South Africa. You see those white people down there, and they call themselves Africans.
Yeah, they do.
And I say, does that make them so because they've been there all this time and no.
We have to define what African is. What is African?
Even though science say that they come from out of us and that originally that we migrated and they be turned out of us. So yeah, you could
So what is
scientifically
African?
be an African, huh?
What is African? If African means melanated person, right?
It doesn't.
Okay, then I'm asking you, what do you define an African as?
No, I'm saying, you mean that's the word African means?
Yeah, because you said that people in South Africa call themselves African, which means
No, they
you
call
imply-
themselves Afrikaans, which
Afrikaans, but
they are Afrikaans. They are cons who are trying to be Africans.
I'm playing devil's advocate because I
Okay.
want to pull. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I know you guys watching. Just really hear me for what I'm saying. We can't react emotionally to what I'm trying to say. And please let me say this because they need to know. In most of Africa, if you have an American passport, because they don't think like us, you are an American. The world sees you as an American.
And
whether
30
you
minutes
are,
ago, I told you, stop caring about what people think about you.
but we have to go through their systems, through their
Yeah.
borders, through their this. That's the
The
world
passport,
system.
I
You said you
understand
can't
that.
get rid of all the world systems.
True, that's true.
So where are we in that system,
The
and where are we
passport-
classified it? We know we're African,
Right.
Just
The-
like that lion is always going to be from Africa, but in its current state, where is
Let
it?
me ask you this question here. There are people from around the world that goes to America and become American citizens. Their passport says that they come from out of America and they're American citizens. So
I'm
now all of a
American,
sudden,
I'm African. To be
no,
honest,
I'm
I
just
don't even
saying,
believe
does
in
the
you know what?
passport have any validity in anything? No, it's only showing where you're coming from
At the
or
time,
where
yeah.
you have been considered to be citizens' eyes from that area. It don't make me to be
Just
that.
like you said, what you define yourself is different than what the United States government defines you as.
The United States government are people. It's not a
Okay,
building.
well, let's say you define yourself differently than people define you, right?
Yeah.
So the Americans defining you as an American means that you can undo it by saying, I'm not an American. So the Africans
Yes, I don't
defining
allow
you
them
as,
to tell me what I am. Why would I allow them to tell me who I am?
Was that the table? Yeah, maybe. Maybe the table was unstable. Can you make this go wider?
Yeah, it's okay. All right, we still here. So you what now?
I like the conversation though.
Of course.
Again, guys, devil's
We
advocate.
just having our conversations here. People get to get in our conversations because we have some really good conversations.
Yes, we do.
Off camera. This is how we do anyway. So you're saying what now? You was asking me what? That the American defines us as being an American.
That's why, you remember when I said that I don't accept labels?
Yeah.
The reason is because, again,
But
conversations
you said
like
you was
this,
American. You labeled yourself as
as
an
much
American.
as I am an American, I am an African. That's what they see me as. Okay, that's what I can't change what you see me as, right? Right?
You can what?
I can't change what someone sees me. I can't go into their mind and say, okay, stop looking at me like that. Right?
Well, until you.
I can show them over time.
Hold one second here. In America right now, there are men trying to tell you they are women, and they don't want you to refer to them as men.
Yeah, that's
You got women who are doing the same thing, and they don't want nobody telling them that they are a man or a woman. They want you to recognize them as they believe they are. And what is everybody doing in America? Recognizing them as such.
Yeah, they are.
Now, why can't I sit back and say, I'm not an American?
Well, okay, if you put it like that, I see your point. I'm going based on, and maybe this is where we differ. If you come to Africa, this is for any American, you will not be considered African. If you can walk in and say, yeah, I'm African.
Africans don't call themselves
originally.
Africans. They call themselves by country. I'm Tanzania.
But again, that's the system I was going with,
Yeah. Okay.
so that we understand each other.
Yes.
In my experience, you've traveled more than I have, but in my experience traveling, if you walk through an airport and say, I'm an African, And they'll get vindictive about it too sometimes. They'll say, no, you're not. You're an American. You can make the argument as much as you want. Sometimes they'll get it. Most times they won't. Legally,
I found most
again,
they will.
because the world goes on a legal definition right now.
Most of the people, when I explain it to them, they're like, okay, yes, brother, I see now. Because I give them the analogy.
Yeah.
Of the lion. We were taken out of this land and taken over there, just like the lion has been taken out. But I'm actually from here.
Yeah, but unfortunately, reality tells us in our current state, though we will always be African, we are not perceived as
I will even go as far as not even saying that I'm African.
Well, what are you?
But this right here, this right here, I don't really need to say anymore. I don't need to say anymore.
Well,
If you rewind time, reverse time, if science saying that we all started from here in this land, or even though I still differ from that what they say, but I'm just saying that the motherland.
Well, yeah, and that's why labels are dangerous. All they do is separate us, but it's all the same thing. We all come from one.
Who we come from?
You said they originate from us too. Didn't you say that?
I didn't say that. I said science says that.
Okay, well earlier you said.
I said science say that. Did not say that, y'all?
Maybe.
Science say that because I'm on a whole total different theory. I've said before, I have not swallowed the whole thing of the Bible that all human people, or rather, on this planet are human beings.
I've said that a lot too.
I do not believe that
People
every
ain't think-
plant, every creature on this earth has thousands of species of it, and yet the human race only has one species. I have not swallowed that. I have not swallowed that. Well, put it this way right here. When I was younger, I used to believe that, but I regurgitate that up now, and now I'm doing my further research because I just do not see us all coming from one man, one woman.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Not to
saying
say
I
we haven't
agree
been
with
created.
that.
I'm not saying we haven't been created by the Most High,
Well, then let
because
me-
the Most High created everything. What I'm saying is that I do not see, even by the
So you're
science
saying-
proven, by the skulls they find, are different species of sapiens.
Okay, well, then let me put I don't believe in separating ourselves. There's good people, there's bad people. There's good in black, there's bad in black.
You shouldn't separate from that.
No, I mean separating ourselves by labels like black and white, country and country. America is just a landmass.
Yeah.
That's why when I say, oh, I'm American, I was born there,
Do you believe the Bible?
to be honest with you,
Because you use a
I'm
whole
not
lot of
religious.
scriptures.
I use that
That
for the
has nothing to
people
do
that
with
need it.
religion. I'm just saying, but you use a lot of that to make points.
That's how a lot of people need to understand it.
But there for me, I find there's a lot of credible that's in there if one understands some of it.
Yeah.
But
There's good in everything,
Yeah.
and there's bad in everything. It's where you look, right?
that's the yin and yang of life, and
Yeah.
that is the separation.
So is it so wrong to say that there's some good? See, we get so hurt by America, and we become so bitter, hateful, and angry at whatever happened to us there that we don't want to associate with it at all. But there's systems that work, and it's not all good. You start saying anything good about the place, to me, it's just a landmass. America is just a landmass. You give it power. You give it power by hating it. You
Well-
give it power by being angry at it, and you give it power by doing what you do in terms of what do you call it? Separating yourself from it.
Angry
It's
at
just
it.
a land.
No,
You
no.
said Africa's just a landmass.
No, it's
So
a
then
landmass,
America's
but the
just a
world
landmass.
is people.
So okay,
Man creates the world.
okay. Now if I said
The man's world.
okay, but again, man's world is politics and
Yeah.
passports and borders and all that stuff. He created separation. So America was created by man. The landmass was already there. Africa was created by man. The landmass was already there. When you call yourself African, you're following the world system.
Yeah.
When you call yourself American, you're following the world system.
Yeah.
When you do anything that gives power or awareness or authority to the labels they created, All you're doing is picking one label or the other. You're not winning because you're choosing something else. There is no real choice in man's world, because man's world is designed to control you and direct you in one way.
Yeah.
It's designed that way. So we think we're winning by saying, I'm not American, I'm African. Or, well, I'm not this, I'm that. That's not how it works. You break away from the system altogether. That means I don't give power to, it's just a landmass. It has beauty, it has trees, it has nature, it has birds, it has
Until you put man on it.
until you put man on it. So it's the same here. This was a beautiful place, and guess what happened when I drive down certain streets? Bye. When I drive down certain streets, I see trash littered everywhere. I say, what on earth happened here?
Yeah.
I crossed the Malawi border. This police officer told me, just throw it on the ground. I said, man, that ain't right. It was so dirty and nasty. So what happened to the landmass? Nothing. It was the people on it. I don't care about America. See, we get
You don't think
hung up.
people should be separated?
We get hung up on labels. I believe that just like dogs don't live with cats in the wild, right? Okay, let me give a better example.
They live
Bears
among-
don't sleep in the ocean, right?
Yeah.
They're separated based on what they are.
Yeah.
When you call yourself an American, you take on the characteristics of America. But if you can say that I'm this, but I don't act like that, then you're essentially negating it. That's why, again, I say, oh, I'm an American, but I'm just as much an African. I can say that because I don't give power to America. What the heck is America? It's a landmass. What on earth is it? You can't get so bent out of shape for whatever happened that we start associating ourselves with man's world. I'm a citizen of the world. See, my thing is anti-hate
But you called yourself
altogether.
American.
Yeah, but I also said what? I'm just as much African, right?
No, you're African.
World system doesn't work. I don't want any of it.
You come from Africa.
I don't want. See,
You come from this area.
Why are we picking?
Huh?
Before they didn't have names. Who created the word Africa?
Well,
Let's look at what was
that's
there
why I
before.
said not necessarily the name, but yet it's just a signpost. It's just a point.
So why does it matter? So when I
Well-
say I'm American, the only reason I mentioned it at all was
Because the way,
again,
because you made mention that you said you are American
on
in a
paper,
sense.
I'm American.
Okay.
In man's world, I am an American. I live in man's world and I live in the world.
I got you.
You can't avoid one or the other
Got
because you physically have to exist
I got you.
somewhere. Do you exist in Africa? Do you exist in America? You can't attack a person for existing where they exist.
True.
You're an American because you're in that landmass America.
Yeah.
Do you take on the characteristics of America? Yes or no? Then you
Yeah.
determine it deeper. We get so bent out of shape at the slightest idea of something that traumatized us that we become triggered at the fact that we are not, or we don't want to be associated with that thing that hurt us.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with that, but it doesn't seem very healthy to be that way long term because it makes you bitter, angry, and hateful. And for all the religious people, God is love, peace, and joy. So anything outside of that is not Him. Why do we have so many angry, bitter people?
Is God evil?
No, but He's also.
Scripture says he is.
I was just about to say, but He's also not good.
But I'm
He's-
saying
he's
I've
balanced.
Said,
He's
but
balanced.
still, you said love, joy, and peace. Well, hold up now. There's
Which
there's
God
a
do
whole,
you serve?
Here's other descriptions too. I mean,
Can I say
mean,
this? Is a
I
wolf
see God
evil?
different than a lot of
Is
people.
a wolf evil?
What's your definition of evil?
Yeah, it's in your perspective, right? In your perception.
Exactly.
So is the wolf evil to you?
No,
Why? Because he does what he's
a
supposed
wolf
to do.
does what a wolf does.
So for me, that's my definition.
Yeah.
Whether you're American or not, it's what do you do? Define me by what I do, not by what name I associate with.
Well-
Labels are so dangerous because now everything associated with that label. America is all these things, but it's also other things that we don't mention because we're so hurt that we don't want to mention them.
Hey,
You don't want to
I-
mention some people, and you're not one of them, but some people will not mention the bad in Africa because of how much they hate America, and vice versa. This is an unhealthy to think because it tells you that you are not willing to look at the truth from a balanced perspective. Too many people are stuck in how they feel about a place instead of looking at it from a universal viewpoint. It's just
Well,
the landmass.
we
Take
all
away
have
the power.
viewpoints. We all have perceptions.
Because you
We all
said
have
people
that.
call you a nigga, and that doesn't make you one. So
That's
what
right.
did you do? You took away the power associated with the word. So why can't I take away the power associated with the word America? It's just a word. It's just a place.
Okay.
Do I behave like it? No.
Okay, American. Okay, American. This is my American
Go
friend
black.
Mark.
Look at me. And you don't acknowledge the other half of what I said.
I do.
As much as I am American,
You clean it all up.
I'm wherever I go.
Okay,
I'm wherever I go. I take on characteristics that I like.
Yes.
So I'm not going to say I'm African. When people associate Africa with dirty, nasty, disease, that's not what it is. So when I say I'm African, in some people's mind, that would mean I'm dirty, disease-ridden. So it's your perception. If I don't perceive it this way, why would you make me see it your way? Is that fair to me? Because I'm not saying you have to see America the way I see America, because my experience gives me a different outlook. So when you say your experience is invalid, you're saying that you're wrong because you are not me. That's pride. True. That's the sin of pride.
Well, that's true. But what I was
let people have a different idea.
Everybody can have a different idea. But we all.
They are hurt.
See, we all see, like your frustration, my frustration, and anybody's frustration is like you said. You are here so that your actions can create change. Right? You want to be impactful.
Yeah.
Right? By your actions, and you're being intentional about it.
Very.
And so being intentional about it is that you have a mission to share your what you would call moral values. And
No. I'm here to do me. I'm here to be me. If that affects someone, great. If not, great. There is no mission. It's me doing me because I want to do me. If it's good for you, it's good for you. The snake will be a snake regardless of what you do.
Well, a snake will be a snake.
So you should do you regardless of what other people do. You say that a lot, which is you shouldn't care what other people think. Because it shouldn't affect you. So why on earth does somebody saying they're an American? Why on earth does somebody saying they're an American affect you at all?
It doesn't.
Because you have to see, our problem in America is that we want other people to think like us. Because we do it when we travel. Well, in America, the roads look like this. In America, the lights would look like this. In America, we got toilets like this. In America, the chair's clean. Why are you comparing everything to the place you say you hate? Doesn't that sound like a contradiction?
It does.
So why on earth do we excuse it?
You don't hear me comparing it.
Can we be honest with ourselves and say that we have problems too? Can we be honest with ourselves and say not everything is perfect in Africa? Can we give and take a little? Can we be fair and balanced? Or are we so hurt that we don't know how to be fair? Are we so hurt that we become liars? Are we so hurt that we become proud? And are we so hurt that we become stunned?
All of us coming from damn Erica, put the D in front of America, capitalize D, come with trauma.
Part of America is damn Erica. You're right.
That's right.
But it's also part of America is the beauty of interacting with people seamlessly in some places. And it's not...
You got the good and the bad and all of it.
See, I'm looking at America on an individual level. I knew good people. Yep. I don't care about America and what it does. I care about the people I'm around. You said it. Circle. You said it at the beginning of this. You need to have your small circle. Wherever you go, you have a small circle. Whether there's nobody in it, or whether there's a few people in it, or whether you associate yourself with the politics and products and problems of your country. See, so many people take on the identity of their country because they vote and they want to be a part of the political system, and they get themselves involved in the news, and they become whatever issue their country is having. Instead of keeping to themselves, you can be happy wherever you go. You can be happy in America, you can be happy over here, but you have to give something up. Sometimes you have to get away from people. If the alphabet crew scares you, get away from them. Oh, but they're everywhere. Go live in the woods. Oh, but I shouldn't have to.
Come to some countries in Africa.
Who says you shouldn't have to? If your house gets overrun by snakes, what you gonna do? Yell at the snakes or get out the house?
Get out the house.
Get out the house, y'all. Y'all are complaining and standing still. See, faith without works is dead. If you have faith that what you know is true, then move.
You go giving them scriptures again.
I say it because it's good advice, Go Black.
I know, I'm messing with you.
It has nothing to do with religion. Do you know why I say faith without works? Faith just means the thing that you believe in. So whatever you believe in, if you truly believe in it, act on that. Take away the religion, that's what that means. It's philosophy at its core. That's why I read some of the Bible. I don't believe in the whole religion thing, but I will take good advice because I'm not so proud that I have to push away anything that hurt me. Religion has a lot of bad in it. I take the good, I leave the bad. America has a lot of bad in it. I take the good, I leave the bad. Africa's got a lot of bad in it. I take the good, I leave the bad. Some people have a lot of bad in them. I'll take the good, I'll leave the bad. How can you throw someone away completely because they have something that you don't agree with? Doesn't that make you proud? You can't throw people away because they don't agree with me. There used to be a time in this world where you could go and disagree with someone and still have a friendship with them. Now, if you're not me, I don't want you. That's pride. For all you religious folks, that's demonic. And for all you philosophical people, that is small-minded. And for all you people that are into other things,
God's throwing people away.
no, he's not.
What?
Whatever God you serve, because that's not the God I serve. Because the God I serve is a mentality I have in me. It's me. It's unique to me. Don't give me the religious God.
No,
give me what I am. And ask me.
You're quoting out of a book that
Ask
book
me.
says that God will
Okay,
that
let me
will
ask
remove and separate those who are wicked,
What?
and they will be cast into the lake of fire.
I didn't say that.
Which will
You
be
said
cast into
that.
hell. No, I
Which
said,
part did I
No,
quote?
you didn't say that. You said
You said I'm
faith
quoting out
without
of a book.
works is dead.
And I said I like it for the
That is a
philosophy in
scripture.
it.
So my thing is that if you are using words out of the scriptures, the scrolls, the ancient writings, they call it a Bible.
No, it's good advice.
But I know, but
I don't
still,
care where it came
what
from.
I'm saying is that God throws people away.
Go black. My unique view is unique to me. You haven't asked me what I believe in.
Well, you're quoting out of a book that I said
Doesn't
that
mean
that's
I'm
God,
religious.
that God in that what you're quoting throws people away.
Okay, well, go black. I take the good, I leave the bad. That part
That's
I left.
that's what God does. He's only taking the good and leaving the bad.
As all of us
According
should.
to the
Go black.
scriptures
So
you're
you mean
reciting.
to tell me you have to take all of the bad? So you're in Africa, you're going to take the bad with the good? You don't want to do business in
I've been taking the good
because
with the bad,
You
the bad
can't
and the
handle
good.
the bad. You said it. You
What?
said, I don't like the culture here in the lying, cheating, stealing. I will not be opening a hotel in Ghana and Tanzania. You said that, which means you will not take the bad. You shouldn't have to accept something that isn't good
hold
for
on,
you.
hold on. You missed that whole point, brother. You missed that whole point.
What
Look,
was the point?
where do I reside?
Where do you reside?
Tanzania, Ghana, or wherever I'm going. I'll be on the plane tomorrow, going to another country. Don't mention it. But, but what I'm saying is this right here. I take the good with the bad. I know how to discern, and when I discern to see, there are things that are senseless to get yourself involved in
For
when you know you're good. For me, only for me.
So wait, can I have for me too?
Of
Can
course,
we
you
say
have
it's
for
unique?
you.
Can we say your belief is unique to you and mine is unique
Of
to me? Because when you
course.
say God throws people away,
I
all
only,
of us throw
I
people
only
away.
say you said people shouldn't throw people away, and I just said God throws people away according to the scriptures you keep reciting out of those scriptures in that book. God throws people away.
Go black. What is God?
Huh?
What is God?
I can't answer
Define
that for
God.
you. It's my own personal. It's
Because I
my
said
own
people
personal.
shouldn't throw people away. I didn't mention God.
I know, but
you
I'm
brought
saying,
him into the
I
conversation.
said, but God throws people away.
I don't care. Go black. I just
And
told
I
you.
only mention God because you coming out of those scriptures, you quote scriptures all the time. So that means then you're in that book, which means then that God that you're actually quoting these words, that's supposed to be his word.
I quote
I
philosophy.
said that God throws away people.
Go black. I'm not. I told you. I take the good for me, the good for me, and I leave the bad. If it doesn't work for me, it might work for you. It's there for someone. See, even the birds are there to eat the
Yeah,
dead
what might be bad to you
carcasses,
may
right?
be good to me.
I can't eat a rotten corpse off the ground, but a vulture can. Right?
Yeah.
It's not good for me, it's good for them. So some of that stuff that you're describing it wouldn't be fair for me to say that everyone who follows that book is crazy and bad and stupid because
Right.
I don't know what brought them to follow that book.
Right.
You have an audience that is the majority African American.
Yep.
Which means a lot of them are still following that book. Am I to say that I can't talk to you or associate with you or see you as a logical person because you follow that book? That's not fair for me because I don't know them. So
Well-
that's why I say what works for me, what I take from it is what I take from it. And if I did not say that God throws people away or this, or I agree with that or disagree with it, then please don't put it past me that I agree or disagree with it because I won't do that for you.
No.
Your
what I'm
belief is
saying,
personal for you
if-
and mine is
if
for me.
you-
Let's
if you-
individualize.
True. But if your verbiage, your words, right, that you're using and you're pulling and extrapolating out of something, then I would take it that you are very affluent or you're very knowledgeable in that book that you keep using these bits and pieces of scriptures. which
That's a
means
good
then
that's a
I
good
see
assumption.
then I see that there is a tie between you and that book. I'm very familiar with that book. I know that Joker in and out, and I've been through it
Can
a
I ask
thousand
you,
times.
have
But
I mentioned the Ten Commandments, all the things the book is? I mentioned things from that book that are universal in meaning. Saying that faith
It's all-
without, and I explained to
it's
you
all
how I
tied-
said,
it's all
I said
tied
to
together,
me,
though.
faith without works just means what you believe should be what you do. At its core, that is philosophy.
I know, but you've mentioned
You
many
mean to
scriptures
tell me
here.
I'm not? So that book has a brand name, has a lock on, has a copyright on
No.
good advice.
No.
No, it's
No, it
universal.
doesn't.
Whether I
It
call
doesn't.
it faith without works is dead, or you should follow what you believe.
I just
They're
said,
both the same thing.
right,
said
I just
different.
made one comment.
It's
and that
easier for
was-
a lot of your audience to understand it that way.
Well, my thing. Well, there you go. Why you think it's easier your way for them to understand?
Because I'm trying to get it across.
But
to them.
you just
if
you
my
just
goal
now
is to
crossed
be
what you just
understood,
said.
if my goal is to be understood,
Yeah.
I will use every way possible.
Why do you
As
think
a
they don't
person who
understand?
wants-
Why would you think they not understand the way that I'm saying?
If my well, okay. I'm not saying they won't, and I'm not saying they will. I said it the way I said it because just like you made an assumption that because I use so much of the Bible, I must know a lot about the Bible. I'm
No, I
gonna
didn't
make
say
it
that
as
you know a lot about it.
well. You said you can make a
If
reasonable
you- I
assumption
said
that
I can assume that by you keep quoting scriptures, you're tied into that Bible. Meaning tied means that you have been through it, which means then
I ain't read it that much.
No, I'm well.
But
yes,
a
you-
good line is a good line.
Well, good
My
line.
own
Good line.
personal belief almost has nothing to do with the Christianity.
Well,
Islam.
I can tell you what, you live in a world that people will measure you according to how you either express,
Does
talk,
it matter how
wear.
they measure you? Because earlier
No,
you
it doesn't
said,
matter, but I'm saying we must be wise.
okay, so now let's look at it like, because I'm applying your logic of people will measure you based on how you
Yeah, I didn't say what they
associate,
think. I
right?
didn't say what they think
On
about
what you
you, but what they
associate with,
measure.
right?
Yeah.
So you walking through that immigration with an American passport, they will measure you on that
Yes, I've said that. I
because
agree
of
with
what
on
you
that.
associate. That's why I said, does it matter? If it doesn't matter that way, and as you said earlier, it doesn't matter that
Look,
way either.
when I go through different countries, right, I have to understand the countries I'm going in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the bathroom right here, the men's bathroom was locked. Somebody was in there.
Yeah.
The woman's door was open. I was about to go in there and use the restroom, but I said, "Oh, hold up! I'm in a place that has Muslims, and I got to understand they look at things separate than what I'm accustomed to just going there, because the women, they have things for women, they have things for men. So I must respect that. So I know when I travel and I deal with people, I am associating with how they are.
But in
And I
America, you
perceive that
can't
they are.
walk into a woman's bathroom either. It's the same.
I've done it
here.
many a times in America. I've done it many a times in America, walking in a woman's bath. No, when I'm talking about, now hold up, these are single toilets so that y'all
Oh,
know.
okay, single toilets.
These are single toilets.
I'm like, wait.
Not just a
single.
whole. No. These are single bathroom toilets. You walk in, close the door, and you're by yourself. I've done it in many of places like that. So let me clarify. So that's all I'm saying. But you're right.
I like this conversation.
Wait. Oh, we just that's all we do.
Because I
We
believe
just
that
have
if you
conversation.
truly, but this is why again the LGBTQRS, all of that stuff, whether it's Christianity, Islam, none of that stuff affects a person who is set in what they know. If you are who you say you are and you are who you are, then nothing can affect that. If you truly
Who are you, Mark?
are,
Who are you, Mark?
I'm who I am.
And who is that?
Well, I'll explain it if you want me to, but
Uh-huh.
I don't have to because I'm still that whether I tell you
I
or
like
not.
I like your answer because that was explained that from the Most High. Who are you? Who should I say should
I'm
send me?
me.
I am that I am.
And you should be. That's why
That's
I say
it.
you
I
do
am
you
that I am.
go black.
Yeah.
I can shake your hand and still wish for a call from you one day after having a debate.
But here's the point, because you mentioned about the alphabet crew. There are many people who want you to believe and get and wants to suppress your or oppress your mind into believing they are not what you see them and know them to be.
You know why they target the children? Because they're still forming their identity.
Should you submit to their thought of let them be them? Yo, look, we just had a trans. We had a man who identifies as being an Asian woman who murdered 5 people in Philadelphia yesterday.
Which prison did he go to? Men or women?
I said he just murdered a person yesterday, 5 people yesterday.
Okay.
So
They're going to send him to a
should
man's
you
prison.
submit yourself to their understanding and what they want you to believe, what they want you to believe,
Go
what
black,
they
go
believe.
black.
Let them be them.
I can't change them, so I'm gonna get away from them.
But you said you can't separate. You shouldn't
I
separate.
said you should.
You say you should be separate from everybody.
Yeah, if you got a snake, a house full of snakes,
So
get out of the house.
if a guy walk up to you and said, "My name is Jan, and I am a white woman, and I want you not to refer to me as he. I don't want you to
You know
refer
what
to
I'm
me
gonna say?
as a man."
I'm gonna say this. Nice to meet you, Jan, and I'm gonna walk away. I'm not gonna give him my number. I'm not gonna go meet with him again. Cause here's the thing, you don't. And the reason I'm gonna say this 3 different ways. Go black.
But what if they worked on your job?
Doesn't matter. Hi,
You
hi,
can't
Jan.
run. You
And then
call-
I'm not
you-
gonna be
right,
around
right,
them because
right.
you can't change them. They can't change you.
Yeah.
Jan being Jan is not gonna change
It's not
Mark
gonna
being
trip over
Mark.
them wanting to be
Jan
called Jan.
being Jan is not gonna make me start. Man, I think I'm June.
But if
No.
you was at an office meeting and you was talking about Jan, who you know is
I
a
don't
man,
care about Jan.
would you refer to Jan as a she?
Go black.
Would you?
No. Let me tell you why I'm about to. You know what? You said them seeing me as an American doesn't matter because I see myself as African. Or you didn't say African, but you said you see yourself as something else, right?
Yeah.
So in their mind, you will always be an American. But in your mind, which is your reality, your reality, you are an African. Or whatever you call yourself.
Yeah.
Jan, which is clearly a man,
Yeah.
sees himself as Jan, which means in his mind he is Jan. Who on earth am I to tell him he's not? He, in his mind,
You
is
don't-
what he is.
You don't have to tell him anything.
I don't,
The question-
and I won't.
the
That's
que-
why I say,
here's the
hi,
question.
Jan, how are
But
you?
here's
And
the-
leave.
right, here's the
Because he's
question.
clearly delusional.
Well, here's the question. You ain't got to tell him anything.
Jan,
But,
go.
but would you? Would
No.
you submit to the fact that he's a woman?
He's being a
Because
woman
Dwayne
is
Wade,
not going to change
Dwayne
me.
Wade and Gabrielle Union are running around the world telling them that their son is a girl. He was born a girl,
Go
and
black.
he's gonna. No, I'm just telling you. This
I
is
know.
what they're doing. This is what America's
I
got
don't
them
know
tricked
those
out.
celebrities,
No,
and
I'm
I will
listening.
say this.
That's just America, not just
I
them.
don't have to. If they
Should
come
you
to my
submit?
door,
Should you submit and say that's a girl?
if they come to my door,
Yeah.
I'll send them away. But if they go to my neighbor's door, there's nothing I can say. I have enough confidence. No.
What?
I have enough confidence to know if someone agrees with them, they have the problem too.
I understand.
So in my mind, I can't control
is
anything
that a
outside
problem?
of my bubble.
So is that a problem? You're calling them a problem? Why is that a problem? Why didn't they just their truth?
They have a problem from your perspective because you
No,
clearly
you said problem. I'm saying
Yeah,
what you said.
I'm saying from your because you don't agree with it, right?
No, I'm saying you said.
Okay, but I'm
that's-
putting this-
You
because this
said
is
they're
an example
delusional.
you
No,
gave
you
me.
said they're delusional.
In
Why
my
would you
mind,
call
yes.
them delusional?
In my mind, they are.
Okay.
But in their mind, they're not.
Okay.
Every
So
man
would
is
you
right
s-
in his own mind because
But-
his mind
no,
is his house.
No, it's not. Every man is not
Oh,
right
Black,
in his
how
own
can
mind.
I tell somebody they're wrong?
Huh?
If they do something to me,
Why are
I
we
can
so
say you were
afraid?
wrong.
Why are we afraid to tell people they're wrong?
I just said I don't agree with it.
Yes, but why are
But
we
I'm
afraid?
not going to
That's
walk
the problem of
up.
America.
Wait, go black.
We don't want to
You
tell
see
people they're
somebody-
wrong.
You see somebody.
I'm not
eating
following into your delusional
You
mindset.
see somebody eating a dead body on the ground. You
Yeah.
gonna walk up to him and say, "Man, is something wrong with you?"
No.
So wait, if you see somebody walking around wearing skirts and princess dresses, and he is clearly a 40-year-old man, are you gonna walk up to him and tell him something?
No, I did not
He's
say
crazy.
that.
You don't
I
talk to
said
crazy
if
people.
a guy came to you and said the name is Jen,
I told you what I
and
do.
he wants you to refer to them.
Okay.
Hold
So
up.
if a bank robber came in and everybody's standing there, he got a gun in your face, you gonna be mean to him?
No, listen.
He's
what
the
I'm saying.
bank robber.
listen
He's
what I'm
coming
saying.
up to you. Get
gotta-
out of the situation.
What I'm saying, this is what's
Get
happening
away
in
from him.
America.
Now, if he coming around you, I deal with him like I deal with anybody I don't like. I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
This
sister.
is what's happening
I
in
don't
America,
like
I'm
you.
saying. America's remaining silent. And they're allowing this delusional to continue
To spread,
on.
yeah.
These people who are sick, and I'm calling them sick, because of the fact, instead of getting the people help, instead of telling the people they're wrong, they're going along with the program. And now they're changing it in the minds of the children.
There's
When are we
where I
going to
disagree.
stand on right? I stand on right because I know that's why I like the rightness of the Most High, because that's already been established.
Well, what do
God,
you define the
man,
Most High?
woman, huh?
What do you define the Most High?
Universal law.
Okay, well then we're in similar.
Universal law. And what's universal law? Nature, which you can see. That's part of it.
But go black. Can I ask
Man
you
and
this?
woman can create life. Not man and man can't do it.
Go black.
That's
Can
true.
I ask you this?
Woman and woman can create a life. That's facts. So I'm going to stand on the universal law.
Why? Because it was made
It's
to do. Wait.
facts.
It was made to do something specific, right?
Specific.
So if you at your house, right,
Yeah.
and you are pissing in a pot,
Yeah.
a pot for cooking, right?
Yeah.
If you're pissing in a pot
Yeah.
and your neighbor looks over the wall and says, "That's not what that's for,"
Yeah.
how would you feel as a man in your house?
Why are you looking in my house?
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Why? Because that's your
Well,
house,
I
right?
I really wouldn't say why you're looking in my house.
Yeah, but you would feel some type of way about another man.
I would have to question myself, or why am I pissing when my windows are wide open into a pot?
Sometimes, yeah. I say like this: those people are under the. I give them the same fare I would give anybody else, whether they are that or not. I say to myself, it's not my place to change how you are. You're like that. I don't agree with it, but that doesn't mean I have to be around you. I can get away from you. My issue is
Why?
your issue. Don't push it on the kids.
But here's the thing. Why are you coming to me telling me I must call you what you want to be called when my truth is and overrides what you're trying to get me to believe what you aren't?
They pushing it on people. That is for sure. That's
So
where
they're
they're
pushing,
wrong.
and that's what I'm saying. We're remaining docile, quiet, and we're not saying anything, and so they're making headway. Instead of getting help for these people who are delusional,
I believe
we're
we're-
going along with the program.
I believe we're making the wrong argument to these folks.
What's
I
that?
believe the argument we should be making is we have enough dignity and self-respect to push our beliefs onto you. Can you do us the same? Get out of the schools, because again, it shouldn't be my values, your values, this and this. Keep it in your house.
Well,
Because I
hold
can't.
up.
Wait. Just like he can't control the fact that you pissing in a pot in your house,
Yeah.
he can't control what he does in his house. Agree with it or not?
Now their argument is, what makes you dictate the fact that I'm wrong in the way I want to be? Why can't I be in your school system that you're going
Still
to?
means I'm gonna make the same argument. Please don't put it on me, and please don't push it on the people that it's being pushed
Okay,
on.
am I pushing?
'Cause I'm not gonna
if
try to
I
control them.
If I wear lipstick and put the hair on and act like a woman
And walk
in the
around in
presence
public?
and be a teacher in front of your kids, is that pushing on them?
To be honest with you, the school system is a whole different ballpark because that is government.
In public. Let's just say in public. Let's just say in public. Let's
Well,
just say in public.
you see a lot of crazy stuff in public. You can see a murder in public. You
We don't
can't
know who the
control-
murderer- we don't
you
know who a
can't-
murderer
go back.
is.
You can't
You
control
don't know
what
who
other
a
people
murderer.
do
You
in
don't know.
public.
You don't know who a murderer is.
Okay, but you can see someone get killed in public. You can see him get stabbed in the street.
Yeah.
So you can't control that happening.
Yes, you
You
can.
can't control some
You
crazy
have laws
person.
against that.
Okay, well, doesn't mean they follow it. You
Of
can't
course not.
control who breaks that law that day.
So that's
So
the
you
argument
can't
they
control
have.
a person walking down the street looking, but in places where you do have the ability to control what you see, aka your home, maybe schools, because schools are made from the community, right? In those places, you have to. And to be honest with you, I'm just gonna say this: I don't even believe in school systems. I don't believe that's good for people. I don't think anybody should be educating your children but you. But we've gotten so busy that our precious treasure, that is our children, has been given off to whoever.
Well, we live in a world where their education that they're teaching, most parents don't know.
No, but why do you give? See, we complain about it, and then we say, how much are the children worth? If you really do not like it, take your child out. But work, okay, find a way to make it work. How precious is the mind of your child that you would allow them to stay in a system in which they are indoctrinated?
True.
You can't tell them that
Especially when you can homeschool.
because again, it's the same example I say. If your house is full of snakes, get out the house because you can't kill them all unless you know how to kill all the snakes.
That's
See,
why
we
I got
fighting all the
that's why-
snakes, holding the
That's
baby.
why I got out of America. Too many snakes.
You cannot stay. Sometimes the infection is too much. You gotta let it go.
That's why I got
That's
out
why
of
again,
America.
go black.
Too
It's
much
a losing
snakes.
fight. If the majority of people are thinking like that, that means the majority of people have accepted it, which means the majority of people agree with it. Go black. You may not be somebody who agrees with it, but you can't control the fact that they do.
I can't control nobody. I can't
Because if I
control
say go
nobody.
black, I don't like the fact that you wore that blue shirt. Next time wear a green shirt. How would you feel? Like, why are you telling me what to do, man? So why would they not feel the same as grown men and grown women or whatever they call themselves, right? Why would they feel any different than you would if someone else tried to control you? It's not even about
Well, I
the fact
think
that they want to be a
societies
woman or a
have
man.
been built
they
off
want to
of laws.
control, you want to control, everybody wants to control
Society
everybody.
has been built off of laws.
Well, man's law.
That's what I'm
Universal
saying.
law says that if I don't like something, I walk away because the kangaroo sees something it doesn't like, and what's it do? Hops away.
Well,
the dog, the cat, the baby, and the toddler
But when it
will
comes-
see something they don't like. They don't fight it. They walk away because
So-
the world is too big
so-
for you to stay in
so-
one
so-
place.
so
we
then
don't want to give up our
when
amenities,
you
and so we
have
feel that
these
the person
people-
there has to move. When in reality says, sorry, this place has just been overrun by bad. Let me go. You can push back, but if it looks like a losing battle, you better retreat.
Well, that's what's happening when people remain docile and quiet, is that now all of a sudden you have in your societies these sick people who are going around pushing their agendas upon your kids, upon your
Take
society.
your children
So
out of
my
school.
thing- no,
the
no,
school
I'm not talking
has
about
been
school.
overrun
I'm
by
talking about
sick
even in
people.
streets.
If you see a room full of
You know,
sick
you have the
people, are
gay
you gonna
pride parades that's
Go
ringing
black.
in
Yeah,
your
I'm
cities.
gonna keep making the
Did you
same
see the
argument.
naked men in the parades walking around
Well, leave the
exposing
city.
themselves?
Go black. Leave the city.
I did.
How much is? Wait.
I
You
did.
did. Most
I
people
did.
won't. See, you're fighting a lose. And this is the hard part to make the argument because it's hard to do that narrow path. And I'm gonna use that because narrow path just means to me, outside of the Bible, it means doing what most people won't. You say the schools are overrun by gay folk. We need to get. We need to change that. Well, in the meantime, your child's being indoctrinated because they're all going along with it. So what do? I don't know about y'all. I'm taking
Homeschool.
mine out.
Homeschool.
Okay, the gay parade, this man walking down the street naked. What if my kid looks outside? Guess I gotta leave the house too. It's gonna get to a point where people are going to be so deranged and so delusional that you will literally have to live in the woods, away, learn to grow your food, learn to find your water, learn to build your house. But we don't want to learn those things because we still need processed food that isn't good for us. We still need government water that isn't good
Who
for
said
us.
processed
We
food ain't
still
good for
need.
you?
Well,
Who told you that?
it's not good for our bodies. It might
Says
be good
who?
for another race.
Says who?
White man. Come on now. See, because they can eat
I
that.
got a father-in-law.
They made me eat it.
I got a father-in-law and mother-in-law. 91 years old.
Okay.
They eat everything underneath the sun.
Okay. How are they? Are they healthy? Are they overweight?
No, none of them. Both of them are not overweight.
Well, then
none
you
of
got
that.
good genes,
90
but how many
91,
people
their
do
father-in-law,
suffer
They're
from
in-law.
it?
They're in-law.
Let's go back. You're talking about your situation and your mentality.
I was
and
just
your,
saying. I was
but
just
there's
using
so
that.
many. I
I
know a
was
lady.
using
She 50 something and she big as heck, and
Yeah.
she only eats processed food. I went to South Africa and I met with the
I didn't say eat every- I
Komani
didn't
San.
eat a
Those
lot of things
people
like
at
that.
40 years old, they got more gray hair than you. They look like they've aged. I was walking with a man in the video.
It's
and
a
this
hard
man,
life.
no, it's not a hard life.
Just
They're
the
sitting
genes.
there eating processed food. I thought they were real bush people until I saw where they live. They got running water. And I said, wow, y'all just dress up for tourists. Yep, we don't even hunt anymore.
Yeah.
I said, why do you guys look so old? He said, well, all we have access to is processed food. That's
Mark,
all.
where's the next place you're going in Africa?
It depends. Depends on what I'm doing at the time.
Since you're meeting Africa. Mark
I might
meets Africa.
I might go meet Africa somewhere else.
Where are you going to go? You need to go somewhere else.
I might go
Get
meet
rid of this
Africa,
frustration. You don't like
and
that.
China. No,
Go to
so-
China.
But here's the thing, though,
Sure.
Black. I want to go everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not so hurt by the world, and that's a part of it is hurt. People are hurt to the point where they become hateful. You'll never see that from me. I might get angry and I might get frustrated, but
We
I'll
all
never
should see him
become
off
hateful.
camera. Woo.
Yeah, I was fighting Go Black. We had to square up. I don't believe that because it's not true. Some people might.
Oh, no.
The reason I like this conversation, because again, it's not like for those of you watching that think that we're having a debate. This is just a clashing of ideas. It's really to strengthen each of our beliefs. If you truly
Let me say
believe what
this.
you believe, nothing will change that.
I would say this right
Most people
here.
don't believe what they believe.
There is a piece here in Africa that the confusion has not reached to yet, as far as how we see a confusion coming from America.
Yeah.
It's a peaceful place. And though that there are things in the culture that we may not like, there's still peace
Pick your poison.
in a lot of these countries. And the people are humble and nice.
Some.
And, some, but I'm just talking about,
Is this fair to say something?
some are nice overall, but they have their own different ways of behaving. So, I'm enjoying Africa.
'Cause I
You're
go based
enjoying
on,
Africa.
I'm not an optimist, I'm not a pessimist. I'm
I'm
a
both.
realist.
I'm both.
Because I want to be balanced, Go Black. That's why, again, you'll hear me say some harsh things because, again, it goes against what's politically correct. In the black community, it's not politically correct
What
to say
does that mean, black community, anyway?
It's the
Like all
bunch
black
of
people
people
living
that look
together.
like us.
There's a lot of black folk who live outside
The collective of
community.
black-skinned people.
The collective. I
So
don't
what
know.
I'm
What
saying
does
is
that
some
mean?
stuff
I
is not
mean,
politically correct to say. Like earlier when I said, "Oh, I'm an American," all them people in the comments was like, "He don't know nothing," because in their mind they're so hurt by the fact that It is one way. But instead of saying, let me sit down and understand this perspective, they get angry. What does that tell you? That's not mature.
We're not getting back on that one.
I know,
So-
but I'm mentioning,
so-
I like the fact that we can have a whole discussion and still shake hands after.
course.
Because that tells me I don't need Go Black to think like me for me and him to be friends. I hope that's the same for you.
Of course.
Because we're similar enough, because you can't,
hope it's the
obviously you
same
don't
for
agree.
you.
We won't agree
Who
on
called
everything.
who? I called you up.
Really? Yeah.
Oh no, I'm check on you all the time.
I like Go Black, though.
No.
I don't have an issue with him overall. I don't see an issue.
Don't I call you, check up on you?
Yeah, he does. He'll check up on me.
He even asked me, hey, go Black, why do you call and just check up on me? Cuz, man, you like my son, man. You're a son to me. You know what I'm saying? Didn't I tell you that?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Call
You're
up
not
Mark,
lying,
see
yo.
how Mark doing.
But we
You
can
know?
we can bash heads.
He
and
even
all this
told me, he
things.
said, I didn't even know you watch my videos. Yeah, why wouldn't I watch your videos? Why wouldn't I, Mark? I never
Yeah,
asked you
and
that
you know
question.
what?
Why wouldn't I? Because you were like, oh, you watch my videos? I'm like, why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Why? I'm going to ask you the question. Why wouldn't I? Why would you think
Go
I
Black,
would
you
not watch
travel
it?
a lot, and I don't put it past people. See, I'm not a person that gets bent out of shape if you don't check on me. You could never call me again, and I still won't feel bad. You can't. You can never comment on my video. Nothing you do will affect me to make me feel bad because I'm setting how I am. Not setting per se. I'll never
answer my
learn
question,
anything. Well, I'm getting to it.
Oh.
I just mean that I don't put it past that maybe this person's busy. It surprises me in a pleasant way when I do find out, but my normal outlook on every person is benefit of the doubt. That's why, again, I don't know
I've
why
come
some
to-
people are the way they are, but I have to respect that they're like that. I may not agree with it, but I have to respect that they're like that because I want them to do the same for
I
me.
ain't respecting some of how people are like that. I'm not going to
Respect
respect
doesn't
some of
mean
that.
acceptance.
Well-
Respect just means, you know what? I don't understand it because I can admit I don't understand this movement and this certain
I do.
mentality in terms of for myself.
Yeah, I know.
Because I
I'm
can't
just saying
comprehend
I
it from. I wouldn't do it, but
You 21, I'm 56. I
well,
got
yeah.
it. I
Well,
got it.
Then let me put it on me because that's what I was trying to
Yeah,
do. Put it on
I
me.
was just saying
I
I
may
do it.
not agree with you.
But we won't. in
You
all
will.
things.
I'm not saying you. I mean that those people.
Yeah.
I may not do what you do.
Any person.
I may not. I say like this: if I don't tell you what I am and what I do, please don't tell me. I'd rather deal with you as a person. Now, when you said Jan walked up and said, "Hi, I'm Jan," I don't walk up and say anything. Let's just sit down. Let's talk. If she look crazy, I'm not gonna talk to her. But if it's a person and they follow that lifestyle, I can sit down and they never mention it, and I'll never ask. If
Okay.
you bring it up and we
You
clash,
still never answered my question, but that's all right.
why do I
So-
think you don't watch my videos?
Yeah.
Go Black, you're busy, you travel. You got a lot of people watching you. Why wouldn't I think that? Is it so odd to think that maybe Go Black is busy?
Well, busy and doing what? Yeah, what I do.
Well, when you travel, sometimes it's hard to get, I know with me at least.
Man, I'm on YouTube every day.
Yeah, true.
I'm
You
on
got that
YouTube
network
every
thing
day 'cause
down.
I got a YouTube channel. But in saying that anyway, yeah, that we all can get to a place to understand. And
Love
that's
is
why I said
understanding.
when you
I
understand
believe
somebody,
love.
it takes away hate because
Yeah,
now
it
you
does.
understand how they operate. That's why I say I don't hate nobody.
I don't either.
I understand that a person who wants to be a part of that alphabet crew, whatever, I understand they're sick. They're all operating out of a sickness.
Can I ask you about sickness then?
Sure.
If you had a dog
Yeah.
and you loved that dog,
Yeah.
but that dog broke his leg and you guys were in the middle of the woods and you couldn't help it, would you shoot it in the head?
Yeah.
Why?
If he was unable to what? Survive or what?
Yeah, if you know you couldn't bring that dog back, would you shoot it in the head if you could?
Yeah.
Why? Because he's suffering, right?
Yeah.
So he's sick.
Yeah.
He's suffering.
Yeah.
So a lot of these people are actually suffering. I say when
Should I
see-
shoot him in the head? Just
No, it just means put them out of their myth. You don't, and this is why again, if I had to call it God, I say God, the God I serve is only loving.
Yeah.
He'll shoot the dog in the head, not because he hates it. We think, oh no, he killed it. No, he put it out of his misery.
Yeah.
A lot of people are miserable.
Yeah.
You don't wake up and say, today I want to go push the fact that I'm a woman to all these random children in a school because you're a happy person. You do that because you're confused and you're angry and you're scared and you feel hurt. You do that because you're suffering. So I look at those people and give them that respect and that level of dignity because they've taken away their own dignity. Why do I have to make it worse? Don't push it on me and my family but I'm not going to make you feel worse than you already do. Because I can look at a person who wakes up and says, I want to scam Go Black to Africa out of the equivalent of $2, because that happens here. And I know you were mentioning that earlier. That bothers you, and it should. But that person woke up that day and
It doesn't
said,
bother me.
well, okay, it bothers a lot of people.
Because, I mean, there are ways around that, but yeah, go ahead.
That person woke up and said, I hate my life. I like lying and cheating and stealing, which in a good person, they don't like doing that. You only do that when you hate yourself, when you're miserable. Yeah, some people like to do it. Those are evil people.
I think it's a culture thing.
Well, sometimes the culture leaves people unhappy, because the black culture, the African American culture, is what? Killing, gangs, violence, all that stuff. So what on earth is that? You think that's happy? You think those people are happy?
No, they're definitely not
so
happy.
why on earth do we give them a pass and no one else? Because we say, oh, that's the culture, and they not doing it because they want to. They doing it because they have to. So don't you think these people that are clearly not influenced by their sane mind are doing it because they feel they're sick? But you can't be mad at a sick person. Now, if the person
No,
go
you can't
coughing
be
on
mad.
you can push them off. See, that's where they made the mistake, is when they start pushing it on others.
Yeah.
I have no issue with any group. I don't have an issue with white folk. I don't have an issue with this. But when you start pushing your negativity, darkness, your evil, the whatever's in you on me, I have to push back, or I have to walk away. I have two options. One, I can't change you. Those are my rules. Number one, I can't change you by force. Number two, I have to respect what you are. Not saying I agree, not saying I accept, but saying that I acknowledge.
You acknowledge that.
Just
this
like
is
you can
just
say
how
I'm
they-
not
this
an
is how they perceive
American,
themselves to be.
just like you can say I'm not an American, and they can say I'm not a woman, when they clearly are.
Yeah.
I have to give them
That's
that. I
why-
may not, but again, you can't argue with crazy folks.
That's
you
why-
back up and say, okay, yeah, you good, Sarah or
That-
June or whatever your name is, and you back up because they're in their own little world.
They're in their world.
Who are you to go in their world?
And that's
I
what
can't
I
go in their
understand.
world.
That's what I understand. That's why I can't.
I got my
hate.
own problems.
Because this is in their head that they think that is. But I will never submit to that.
No, you ain't gotta submit.
I'm
Just
not
get
gonna
away
submit
from
to
them.
Well, it's not even
Person
getting
with a
away.
bomb strapped to their chest, what you gonna do? You just gonna stand around them and don't do that. You
Well, I
gonna
mean,
kill a
that's a
lot
little
of
different
no.
analogy, but my thing-
they are a bomb.
my-
They are a ticking time bomb, because what they're doing is getting
What
a bunch of
Africa
people
is
around
doing
them
is
and
fighting
poisoning them.
against it. Africa's fighting against it. Every time they try to push human rights, they're fighting against it. Or other Western type of cultures, they're trying to fight against. So yes, you can push
Universally,
back.
they're
Like you
completely
said,
right.
You
You
things
should not.
walk away, or you can push back.
Push back.
So-
but only when they get in your space.
Well,
Because
they
if
come
you
to
go
your
out,
space.
they way over there. You see them from a distance, right? You say, okay. Because even military
Tomorrow they'll
works
be up
that
in your
way. You were
face.
in the military. If they go in, maybe they'll strike first. But if the enemy is way over there, you gotta wait till he gets a little closer sometimes.
No, but you got to understand there are tactics and strategic plan
You strike first.
of how they don't have to be necessarily come to you. They can have other means of how they go ahead and push and get how they can push their way to get to you.
Yeah, my issue is, again, and
It can be through TV, radio. It can be through.
that's why,
it
again,
can be
they
through all
don't
these different
target
means.
people that have a sane mind. They're not walking up to you, Go Black. They can smell you from a mile away and say, I'm not going to say any of this to him.
Yeah.
They target the most vulnerable, open, wet concrete because they haven't set the children.
Is that how the scammers do here? They set you up.
Well, I can't tell you what they do, but some of them, yeah. Some of them, no. It's a sometimes and a maybe.
I mean some, because
Yeah.
you had made mention that those who are going to try to get that extra $2 out of you, which is a lot. I haven't seen them pushing.
I had
$2.
somebody try that today. They changed the headlights on my car, and I looked at that. I said, "Excuse me, sir, why are you doing this?" And he had a sly smile. But you know what I had to say to him?
Hold up. What you mean? What you mean? He showed you a receipt with the price on it.
No, he wrote it down.
Did he tell you what it was going to be before he did the work?
They don't know themselves.
See, that's the problem. 'Cause
See, there's the thing. When you say it's the
that's
culture, it's the
problem.
culture.
That's the problem.
Does
There
that
is-
mean that? Does that mean I wake up hating them?
There's no
it
way
means that
nobody's
person
doing
wasn't
work.
good.
There's no somebody doing work for me, and I don't know the price.
Yeah, you tell them before.
That's what I'm saying. That's why people. That's where there's ways to get around getting scammed, and that is one of them.
I've
You're not
been
doing
scammed.
no work on my car unless you tell me the price.
Yeah.
It's easy to know what the price of the part's going to be. Tell me what your price to do the job.
And sometimes they're like, in fact, the other day I was with an older gentleman from the diaspora, and another one too.
Anybody got any questions? We coming to a close, but anybody got any questions? Not to cut you off.
No, you're okay. You're acting like
They're gonna
a
come.
Christian.
There you go, Black. I like the debate. Citizenship Uganda. Keep teaching, brother. Both tribes united this now.
What question you got? We give you a minute.
This host is ready for her tip. Did he study Malcolm? No, I didn't. I just watched the Malcolm movie like a few months back. I'd never seen it before. I didn't even know what the man stood for. I thought he was just general civil rights. They did him dirty.
Question: why did you think? What you think about South Africa?
I loved it. You know, I had wonderful interaction with everybody I met. For the most part, it was a good time. I was there 15 days, and it was nice interacting with people in such a friendly way. I can do that here. We just had a good interaction with two people, the waitress and this lady. So it was nice to see something different.
Yes,
Mark.
I did see the apology from Museveni
Somebody said,
to the diaspora. Yes, I saw that. Somebody asked that question.
what's Mark's spiritual belief or practice? To be honest with you guys, at my fundamental core, I just believe in, and I believe in what I believe in. So please take what you believe in and keep it close to you if it's something you truly believe in. But I just believe in letting people do them. No, it's hard to put it into words. It's just
You just answered
looking
it to
and
me.
understanding.
You just answered. I thought it was perfect what you just said.
Let people do
Keep it with yours is personal.
Mine is life goes on. That's it.
What made you travel Africa, Mark?
Me?
Yeah.
It was a feeling I had 3 years ago.
Have you been to Ethiopia, Mark?
Not yet. Understand, that's my belief right there.
What about the land of the Cebu? I'm gonna do a video on that. I'm gonna do the video on that probably here in the next day or two.
Zambia, Malawi, Kenya. I've been to a few places, not as many as him, but definitely a few. People, don't try to control me. I'm not a go with the flow type of person either. Again, if you get in my space, I will push back, but I don't know.
And that's the problem, though, is that we all get into that pushing back when people cross the line.
That's a good question.
What's that?
I have a question, Go Black. When is
When is
Mark and your daughter getting married?
Ah,
I haven't met your daughter yet.
no, you never met my daughter. Mark ain't thinking about no marriage. Mark out here having fun.
I am married, y'all.
Oh,
Y'all might not
excuse
know.
me.
Wait. That ain't supposed to be an announcement yet. Gonna have to cut that out.
So
I'm
you
joking.
married already?
I might be. To be honest
What
with
you
you,
mean
with the
might be?
way,
You said
with
you
the way
already
people
married.
are, I probably wouldn't make that announcement. Because I saw some of the stuff people were saying about other people that
So
I
you
knew that were married.
Stop worried about what people saying.
No.
So-
It's about protecting my own. Because
Well-
at the end of the day,
Well,
don't-
hold up. Mark, who are you married to? Please share with us. Well, you ain't got to share if you don't want to, but you're married then.
I'm going to doll up the statement. I'm
Mark
married
is
to my
married.
word. I'm married to my word.
No, don't be ashamed, brother. If you got a beautiful woman on your side, man, that make you complete, man, is y'all being one, man. That's something, man, to be, you know what I'm saying? Something to stand tall about. Don't mean you have to disclose.
Somebody
what she
said
is.
Mark got 4 wives. How they know? No, I don't got. Mark, all you can do is stay around when you talk about the man.
Somebody said, I am married. I might be. That's Mark's response. Mark got married. We're going to talk after camera. You got an African wife? Is your wife African? She's white.
No, I said she's not.
Oh, okay. She's African.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's the lucky lady, Mark?
Dang. I hope people don't get to this part.
Mark don't stand for anything.
You would fall for anything. I stand for what I stand for, but I don't always have to say what I stand for.
Prophecies of past, or present, and future.
They asking you.
I don't know. Do you believe in or study the biblical prophecies of the past, present, and future? Some I do, some I don't.
I'll say the same. I believe that most things are sometimes and a maybe, and it really is unique to the situation. You know, we can't generalize everything we get in contact with because
Aurora
that's
said, Mark.
a lazy way to
Aurora
think.
said, Mark, it's you.
Aurora gonna make me act up, as they say, right?
Yeah. You looking for a second wife, Mark?
No, one is okay. To
You
be
should
honest
have
with
had
you.
a big wedding party.
No, I don't believe in too many ritualistic sort of things. To be honest with you, I believe in a.
Would you set up a group trip to Tanzania? I'm
That'd
not.
be nice.
You?
Yeah,
I'm not.
I could do it.
What African countries have I been to? Oh, go black. What African countries you like the most? I don't like to say most or best because they're all just an experience.
Somebody said, I know Mark got fire and water. What does that mean?
Do you believe that Jesus is ever coming back? Jesus is already here.
You know, what does Jesus represent at his fundamental
Exactly.
core?
It's here.
Yeah, he taught
here.
people not to be selfish. So
here.
take that representation.
That spirit's here.
People need to learn to not be selfish.
Do
As a
you
human.
all believe that there is no one side to the story?
There's
of
two sides.
African history? There's always more than one story.
Yeah. I believe that your perspective is your reality. How you see the world is how it is. Just like the man can look and be a woman in his mind, and he is in his mind, you have that power too.
Go black. One piece of wisdom you have for Mark.
Okay. Lay it on me.
Know thyself.
Yeah. Stay true to yourself. Don't let people change what you think. That's the problem.
Well, I
We're so worried about somebody challenging our belief. If it's your belief, there is no challenge. You
go
know,
back.
I
Go back.
don't- I
Would you
don't believe
consider becoming a pastor bishop? Consider. What do you mean? I've already walked down that road.
Somebody said.
I walked down that road already. What do you need? What do you most admire about each other?
Who? You and I?
Yeah.
Okay.
We just accept each other for who we are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Black has a lot of things he can tell me. But I like the fact that he'll also consider some of what I say.
Of course. Are you married to Catherine?
No, not even close.
What is the what is the definition of ish? There you go. Somebody I seen it.
Ish?
I don't know.
Ish?
I want Mark to marry my daughter.
Ooh, what's up with y'all? And why y'all
Zenobia.
hiding y'all daughters? Y'all could have threw them out there years ago.
Let's see.
I'm over here. Y'all know I don't have, what do they say, game? I don't have game.
Does your parents approve of your marriage?
Balance, Mark, balance.
Did you
I
say-
believe in balance. What?
Does your parents approve of your marriage?
No hablo inglés.
No hablo English. Would I ever return to America? Yeah.
What's Mark's channel? I'm glad you asked. It just so happens to be Mark Meets Africa.
All right.
He is not on. Woo-wee.
All right, family. Thanks for jumping in. I hope y'all enjoyed our conversation. And I wish you all the best. Peace and blessings to each one of you all. What you got for him?
Okay, y'all. That's all I got. I'm happy I got into this conversation today.
Mark Meets Africa's channel. That's his name of his channel. Mark Meets Africa. Go check him out as he journeys along his life as a young. You 21 yet?
Yeah, 22.
You're 22 now.
Yeah.
Dang,
Years went by.
Wow. So, yeah, family, I appreciate each and every one of you all. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace and blessings to all of you all and all that you do. He's no longer your son-in-law.
Oh, no.
Yes, he is.
We can technically still be.
All right, family, we out.